Red hot comic book movie news. Defenders of the Earth. Defenders. The Weekly Planet. The Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday, and with me, as always, my co-host, but we're not brothers, Nick Mason.
You've said that, and I think that is going to cause people to ask more questions.
Why?
Actually.
No, I'm just clarifying. If anybody's listening for the first time and they thought that we were brothers,
Okay.
and they just know that we're not brothers. We're not blood related, and we're not
Okay.
brothers in the sense that we get along really well.
Oh, no, we're not even bros?
We're not bros.
Are we any way related to Bros?
Yes, we're both big fans of Ross.
Great.
Yeah, if that's okay with you.
What a tremendous start to this
completely
podcast.
agree.
Well, I think we are literally brothers. And who are you going to believe?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
It's,
know?
it's one of those situations where, like, who is it? Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson might be brothers, but they're not going to check.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations.
Absolutely.
It's Schrodinger's cat, but we might be brothers. Or
That's right.
whatever. Yeah.
Sure.
Excellent.
What a terrific start.
I agree. This week we're going to be talking about the Marvels. If you do want to skip to that, Collins, who edits this, he leaves time codes below. But we've got a bunch of stuff to get to in the news before that. Not the regular news. This is new. This is movie media news, just so people know. Yeah. What do we got here?
We've got a particular. I think we've got a particular chemistry that could only really be evident in two brothers, two men who are literally brothers.
I don't think so. I think this could be replicated easily by anybody.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
AI could do it.
Yep. Yes.
Maybe that's what's happening right now.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to talk about the end of the actors' strike.
Huzzah!
We're going to be talking about what is going on with Warner Brothers cancelling another big movie.
What is going on?
What is going on? We've got a release date for Superman Legacy. We've got Bob Iger talking about Marvel and how maybe things aren't very good at the moment.
Oh yeah.
We got
How to get that impression?
yeah.
Bob Iger.
We got a big time rumor from with Kevin Feige moving over to Star Wars. We've got a bunch of MCU delays.
Ooh.
Big shift around. We also got trailers for Avatar: The Last Airbender and Ghostbusters: Frozen Boring City. Then we've got
no.
we'll talk about it.
No, I think this is a better segment. This isn't just look at a trailer. This is James's opinion on the Ghostbusters franchise.
That it sucks.
Whoa.
That it largely sucks.
Wow.
And it's not even that it sucks. I hate everybody who likes it.
Yeah.
That's probably more accurate.
Even your brother?
Yes. So we're going to talk. Zelda's
You've
getting
got some hot. You're going to get yourself in hot water. Get that, but that's perfect because it's a frozen empire.
Very
you can
true.
thaw out that frozen empire.
You could, but
with
you
all
don't-
that hot water.
No, you don't want to throw hot water straight on a frozen empire because you'll actually break it. You'll crack it like a windscreen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I'll add some tepid opinions.
I would love that.
Yeah.
So Zelda's getting a movie apparently, and Jeremy Allen White doing a comic book movie maybe.
I think definitely not because he burned all his bridges.
He
it
did,
seems.
didn't he?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. Anyways, this is by THR. After a grueling 118 days on strike, so this happened the week before Barbie and Oppenheimer came out, SAG-AFTRA has officially reached a tentative agreement on a 3-year contract with studios, a move that is heralding the end of the 2023 actors' strike. Now, apparently a big sticking point for this was the studios wanted... we don't have all the details as of yet at time of recording. That will slowly trickle out over the next few days and weeks.
That's
But
right.
the big sticking point was the studio wanted to do a bunch of AI stuff.
Yes.
They were saying, listen, we want to scan people for free and use them for free forever.
Yeah.
And actors were like, we'd rather you didn't. And
It's
they
getting-
said, well, but we want to, though.
Yeah, it's getting too difficult to get a bunch of people in a room and have them stand around. What if we want to change the number of people in a room?
Exactly.
We'd have to get more of you in or take some of you out and then film it again.
I think eventually they'll get to the point where they can just AI generate random people. That's probably how they're going to get around this.
Yeah.
At some point. But
Yeah.
this is a really good move, especially because they're talking about resurrecting dead actors without families' permissions, which may have happened in The Flash recently. We don't know that.
yeah.
We don't know that. Because didn't George Reeve have no surviving family?
As far
or
as I
whatever?
know, yeah.
So Warner Brothers just own him, do they?
Yep,
so
they own-
if
yep.
you don't have any family, the studio,
Brothers can
the
have you.
studio can keep you.
Yeah, if you're in the public interest and you don't have any family, Warner Brothers will just be like, we'll have this.
Yeah, that's ours.
Yeah.
You're ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're in good hands because we're Warner Brothers.
God. Yeah. So this is great news, really, in general. And I know, as part of this, and we haven't really touched on it, but a lot of businesses, in the movie industry, have suffered greatly because of this, production studios and special effects houses and all of these different things. Some of them have been shuttered because of the
Craft
lack of work,
services.
craft services, etc. But I think, people realize this, but this is the studio's fault.
Yeah.
This isn't like the actors being like, making this happen.
I'd like a third mansion, please.
Yeah, exactly. It was, they, like anybody, they're entitled to make money and a livable wage
Yeah.
on what they were producing.
And as a lot of people on the picket line were saying, it isn't about, we all focus on the big names and the A-list celebrities and stuff like that. They, I'm sure some of them want more money, but a lot of them were striking for the people who were at the bottom kind of
exactly.
thing. And,
Which is most actors.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked, because 99% of the people in a movie are the little guys. And a lot of people started out as background extras.
Ben
and
Affleck and Matt Damon talking about it.
They got a line, and then they got another line, and then somebody saw them.
And they did a crypto ad.
Exactly.
Matt Damon.
That's right, exactly right.
Which I love, by the way.
Yeah, no, James. He did that Bourne sequel where there was an app.
Oh, yeah.
That was taking over the world or something.
That's right.
And then he did the crypto
It was
ad.
Facebook but evil?
Yeah, Facebook but evil. But if they go, well, we need some background.
We're going to get a comment that says, Facebook is evil? That's the joke.
No, I think it's cool.
Okay, well, I know you think it's cool.
Yeah.
That's why you're no brother of mine, but go on.
I was going to say, but if they're AI generating all their background extras,
Yeah.
then who's going to get the line? Background extras that are AI guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you
but again,
go.
as we've talked about, I don't think places like Warner Brothers and Disney want stars anymore.
No.
Because they have to pay stars and
They
stars
want,
have demands.
They want brands that they can cycle actors through, basically.
Well, it's like not even actors as well, just like like Luke Skywalker now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whoever's Luke Skywalker now.
Yeah.
Whatever amalgamation of men and technology, put that...
Dead men and technology,
put
yes.
that together.
Yeah.
Anyway, via Variety, Christopher Nolan had this to say about the whole thing. He said, part of the craziness with the labour
No,
negotiations...
James, he flung his scarf over his shoulder. Thank you.
Part of the craziness with the labour negotiations this summer has been the studio...
Labor negotiations.
has been the studio sitting there and going, well, we can't pay you because we don't have enough money. To which the answer is, well, you don't have enough money because you're not managing your business correctly. Which also, I don't think is, they're not managing their business correctly. They do have enough money.
Yeah.
Just want to clarify that. You're not getting the same amount of money for your product that you were before. The shift to streaming has disrupted the entire industry and created problems for everybody. And I think that's absolutely right. And we're seeing that because... we're seeing with subscription services as well, like they're collapsing or combining, or like Warner Brothers
Or charging
more for less content. Like Warner Brothers recently put all this Zack Snyder and DC movies onto Netflix, because basically acts as an advertisement for whatever upcoming movies and streaming services they have. And Disney are now moving some properties over there, but not going to be the mainline stuff. It's more just like, I don't know, do you want fucking Willow? Yeah, you can have it. So...
Is somebody getting Willow?
I don't know.
Okay,
Somebody
then.
should probably get Willow, the TV series. So, yeah. We're probably going to come back to this in 3 years. Like, there's a very good chance this will all happen again.
No,
and
absolutely.
All kick off in
Well, yeah, I mean,
2026.
that is the nature of it, isn't it? That they'll attempt to sneak all this stuff in next time. So.
Technology will change, and you need to have new rules and regulations. Because a year ago, like, this AI stuff was like... not really a big deal.
And I've heard from reputable sources that in the next 3 years, they're finally going to get a working prototype for smell-o-vision.
Oh, my God.
And what if, Warner Brothers just takes your stink? Your unique stink.
My stink.
Yeah, your stink.
I love my stink.
That's right.
Nobody else loves it.
Everybody hates it. Everybody hates it, but they're going to use it to clear people out of the movie theater after the, the
early
movies.
teens.
Yeah.
Just shuffle them into the foyer.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, God. What are we doing,
Mr.
Mason?
Sunday's Eau de Toilette.
I just want to clarify, I don't smell like a toilet, Mason.
Sometimes you smell like a
I
toilet.
smell like a normal man who fell in the toilet.
But somehow your entire body went in the toilet.
Well, I went to get out and I slipped and I went upside down in the other end, Anyway, this is my THR. So you probably heard about this movie, but Warner Brothers...
I don't know.
Just listen.
Oh.
Just listen, Mason.
How would I know, James?
Use that brotherly intuition that we have or don't have. Can't remember. So there was a John Cena live-action animation hybrid. There is movie at Warner Brothers that they made. It's called Cody versus Acme, and it's based on Ian Fraser's Coyote v. Acme, a humor article published in the New Yorker in 1990, which is basically the Wile E. Coyote taking legal action against Acme because all of the gadgets he bought to like trap the Roadrunner like backfired and like he got hit by a giant fly swatter and whatever.
And they just sent back an email that says user issue.
That's right.
Skill issue.
Skill issue, yeah.
User error.
Get good.
Yeah.
So this was greenlit as a HBO film, and it was also considered as a theatrical release. The cost of it was $60 to $80 million. James Gunn, because he's a big fan of like the Looney Tunes and all of that.
Maybe he was.
Yeah, James Gunn produced the feature, and he worked on the story story of this. So this is James Gunn, who's currently running the DCU for Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Had a big hand in this movie.
And starring John Cena.
John Cena.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's no.
They're doing the Batgirl
They
again.
Batgirled it.
They are. I hope that becomes the general term for it. They Batgirled it. They're just writing off for tax reasons because they get $30 million back or something like that.
$30 million. So apparently they're going to save on marketing costs. So if this was to go out to cinemas or streaming, it would cost $30 to $50 million in marketing. And then if they never release it, then they can have $30 million.
Yeah. I've never released it. Give me $30 million.
Just like completely creatively bankrupt, artless ghouls.
Yeah. And again, the idea that you get a household name in John Cena who's in it.
Yeah.
It's a recognizable property. Apparently, it looks like the crew released a reel of like various sort of stunts in progress, like a lot of live action stuff. It looked really good.
The guy who did the score released is like, well, you'll never hear any of this. So here's some of the score that I did for this movie.
And again, produced and co-written by James Gunn, who's got the ear of David Zaslav, presumably, and even then, it's not coming out.
Yeah,
which again, it's gonna cause people to go. If anybody has a choice, they're just not going to work with Warner Brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you?
I mean, Christopher Nolan's talking about going back to Warner Brothers, but that's why he left for like.
Well, not after the way they treat his precious lunatic tunes.
It's true. My goodness. Yeah, so the director of this, Dave Green, he had this to say. For 3 years, I was lucky enough to make a movie about Wile E. Coyote, the most persistent, passionate, and resilient character of all time. I was surrounded by a brilliant team who poured their souls into this project for years. We're all determined to honour the legacies of these historic characters and actually get them right. Along for the ride, we embrace the test audiences who rewarded us with fantastic scores. I'm beyond proud of the final product and beyond devastated by Warner Brothers' decision. But in the spirit of Wile E. Coyote, resilience and persistence win the day. So yeah, the other thing is apparently this tested incredibly well.
Yeah.
Like because they're showing it to people because it's mostly finished. Like it is a movie that they filmed and have scored and did most of the special effects and animation.
And the director says there as well, this is the one where he finally kills the Roadrunner. And don't you all want to see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he does it just with a spade. He just beats his head in with a spade.
I love that, Mason.
Yeah, pretty cool, right?
So here's one director who spoke about this, but there's a bunch of people who talked about who have seen this. Brian Duffield, who directed recently No One Will Save You.
Yeah, we talked about that one.
Hulu, Disney Plus. I've seen this movie and it's excellent. It also tested in the high 90s repeatedly. It also had interested buyers. The people working at Warner Brothers are anti-art, and I hope multiple anvils drop on their heads.
Nice.
So yeah, the other thing is it's really weird that like there is a good chance, and you never know with movies, obviously. There's a good chance that this could have done very well.
Yeah.
And I just like the idea to like they're still going to lose money on it. They're still losing money on this regardless, but they had the opportunity to not do that and took this.
A lot of people have said this, and I think there is some merit to it. They've said, well, if the taxpayer is paying for this, if the taxpayer is giving Warner Brothers money for this,
absolutely,
it should just go into the public domain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, isn't that insane that like that is the state of the world where it's like, well, we're not going to release this. I'm going to take $30 million from people.
But it's okay because David Zaslav he's getting rich off this.
Oh,
I mean, he was rich.
Yeah.
He's getting richer. Yeah, and I think that's important that an already rich man gets rich by destroying other people's art forever, locking it away, deleting it, whatever it is. I think that's cool.
God, I mean, I know people have said this, but could somebody please leak this? That would be incredible.
That would be really good.
Yeah, would love that. Also, Warner Brothers have a Looney Tunes animation coming out movie. They've got a Daffy and Porky Pig movie or some shit coming out. So it's weird that like this is the one that they're cancelling. Yeah, because this is you think would be the bigger one, right?
It's got John Cena in it.
It's got John Cena. So there you go. Fun things happening every day, Mason.
Love that.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah, very good. Well, here's something that is good, I guess. Superman Legacy has a confirmed release date of July 11th, 2025.
Well, I'm not going to believe it until I see that release date within the Superman font on a blue background.
Don't look online, Mason. Okay. You're going to look like a right fool.
Okay.
But if everybody could tweet at Mason that image, that would be terrific.
Yeah, tag me in it, yeah. If it exists, which it doesn't.
So
you'll never find it.
What's that? A year and a half? A bit more than a year and a half away. So that's something that he's obviously like a lot of the casting and that happened prior to the actors' strike, and like the writing of it was like he was well ahead on that for quite a while. So that one is one of the few movies that it's so far out, not that far out, but it's
so far out, brother.
So far out where it's like they can like there's enough room to make that release date. I think they were talking about filming it in January last time I heard. So,
Okay.
yeah, that would make sense to me, Mason. Now, THR, they spoke to Bob Iger, and Bob Iger said, there's been a drop in quality.
Was the there?
Yeah.
Really? We ambushed him outside his house.
So he said, in addition...
You could see him deciding whether to hit his panic button or to answer the question. He went,
At the time the pandemic hit, we were leaning into the huge increase of how much we were making, and I've always felt that quality can be actually a negative when it comes to quantity.
Wait, do you mean the other way around?
Yeah,
Yes.
quantity, so it can be actually a negative when it comes to quantity. I don't feel like you thought that at all. I think he thinks that now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true, yeah. I think, but I mean,
He was retired for some of this, I should
That's
point
true,
out,
yeah.
for a couple of years. But yeah, and he said, I think that's exactly what happened. We lost some focus. So apparently, yeah, the idea is, and we're going to be talking about some release dates in a minute, but that they're pulling back on a bunch of MCU stuff.
I absolutely think, though, and we've talked about this before, but I absolutely think that he went, so you made Endgame and it made $1 billion.
Yeah.
Why can't you just release 3 of those in a year?
Yeah, exactly.
And then we'd make $3 billion.
Yeah, think about it.
Idiots.
Idiots, yeah.
Just churn them out, who cares?
Yeah.
If you don't, you're fired, by the way.
Exactly.
They'll fire you all.
Yeah.
Because infinite growth.
Infinite growth, exactly. And let's talk about the MCU, Mason, because there's been a bunch of shifts happening. So Deadpool 3...
Shift happens.
That's right. Which is resuming production. It's moving from May 3rd, 2024 to July 26, 2024.
Okay.
Now, originally, I think the
Okay.
idea was that Captain America 4 was going to move up to that date, but Captain America 4 is now being delayed quite a long time, from July 26, 2024 to February 14th, 2025.
Okay.
So that means we're only getting one MCU movie next year, and that's Deadpool
3, right.
Yeah. Thunderbolts also moves from December 2024 to July 25th, 2025. Blade gets a release date.
No, it doesn't. It's not real. It's not a real movie.
September 7th, 2025. And I'm sneaking this in here, Mason.
Yes.
Because I know you're worried about there not being enough MCU movies, but don't worry, the spum has got you. The Sony Pictures universe of
thank
Marvel
God.
movies. Venom 3 gets a release date of July 12th. Sorry, moved from July 12th of next year to November 8th.
Venom fights another bunch of gooey guys.
That's right.
The gooeyest guys we've yet seen.
Oh, my God. We've seen some pretty
Yeah.
gooey guys.
That's right.
So via the Hot Mic podcast, they talked about specifically Captain America 4, and they said it didn't test well and extensive reshoots are planned. They're going to have to unretire Harrison Ford or whatever he's doing to get him back to be the Red Hulk or whatever the thing is that he's doing in that movie. You kind of have to nail new Captain America, you know? You can't, like... remember New Captain America, the show? You know, when he had that speech where he's like, everybody be better politicians.
That's right.
Just vague.
Everybody
and like,
stick to the middle. That's where all the action is. What they did was bad, but what you're doing is also bad, I think.
yeah.
I think both of you guys should learn to get along.
Don't you love how a lot of Marvel properties just revolve around a refugee crisis and how maybe refugees need to learn a lesson also?
I do love that.
My goodness. So there you go. How do you feel? I mean, we've been talking about also how maybe they should delay some MCU stuff. Or, maybe there should be a gap because it's a glut.
It is a glut, yes.
And this, I think, could end up being a good thing, having a break and also maybe making good movies. I think that could be a good thing.
I think so.
I mean, the quality, obviously the quality of the movies depend on, but everybody seems to be, like, people want to see Deadpool 3. I think that one
that's true,
has a fair bit of hype around it. At the
How do you feel about the people who are saying, well, after superhero movies, the next big thing is probably going to be video game movies? Because of FNAF?
Yeah,
is
mate.
FNAF doing well in subsequent weeks?
It didn't because people realised it was on streaming.
Yeah, that'll do it.
But it did initially. It did. It's still done very, very well. Yeah, you might be right, but I think also, like, it could shift to video game movies because people put effort into them.
Sure.
Like, it could be any... For now, yeah. It could be anything if you apply yourself and put, like, a good creative team behind it, right?
Yes.
You know, like, you're making...
Could we churn it out, though?
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely churn it out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking,
You definitely churn it out. Yeah, definitely.
Because, I mean, if you can do one movie, like you said, like that, why not do 5 in a year?
$5 billion movies.
$5 billion
and that's
movies?
$5 billion. And even better, what if they made
That's free money,
That's
basically.
free money, basically. You're basically making money. What if they made $2 billion each as well? You got to think about that.
That's true.
I mean, plan for the best, expect the best.
Yeah,
that's what I always say.
And fire anybody who doesn't immediately give you the best.
That's right. Yeah. This is by My Time to Shine. Hello.
I don't know if they're legit.
I know. That's why I wanted to talk about this, though. But you know what? I don't care. I love rumors. I love conjecture. I love lies. That's why we're here.
Are you my time to shine? Hello?
Maybe.
Interesting.
You would know if you were really my brother, which you're not.
I wouldn't think you'd tell any of your brothers that. I think both of your brothers would be like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
You might be right. So Kevin Feige is thinking about leaving Marvel after Secret Wars and taking over Star Wars. I mean, maybe. Like, it's possible.
I guess,
Why,
sure.
why wouldn't he, I guess? Why wouldn't he? I mean,
Because you could just retire.
He's not going to retire. I mean, are we going to retire?
Yeah.
All right. After Secret Wars?
Yeah, after Secret Wars.
All right, let's do it.
Nah, I don't want to. I want to see what comes next.
Maybe we retire after Kang Dynasty and we just don't come back to Secret Wars.
Secret Wars, sure.
Do you reckon they're going to keep Kang Dynasty? We'll talk about it. Did you watch Loki? Did you finish Loki?
I'm 2 behind, but I don't care if you spoil it.
Okay,
honestly,
we'll spoil it
point.
later. We'll spoil it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 2 left. I watched some yesterday and I'm like, I got up to 4 and then I'm like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But that's just how compelling the Marvel narrative is these days.
We'll talk about it in what we're reading. Or we could talk about it now, I guess. But what do you think they're going to actually make a movie called Kang Dynasty? Or will it be, as we've talked about, another guy dynasty? A big threat is happening dynasty.
I mean, they could change it. They've changed titles, you know.
Yeah.
It could be a very similar plot line.
And put in a different guy.
Put in a different guy.
Yeah.
Doom Dynasty.
Doom Man.
Duck Dynasty.
Duck
Bring back
Dynasty.
Howard the Duck.
Oh my God. Yeah. So no, I think no. I don't think they're going to make that or call it that at the very least.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. They could recast, but I mean, after what happened in Loki, and we'll talk about it, I just don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see, Mason. Anyway, Kevin
Is the last episode of Loki just someone admitting to all their crimes in real life? Is that why you're saying this?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
What do you think, though, Kevin Feige Star Wars? Should he do it? Would he do it? Could he do it? Is he doing it? Would he do a good job?
I mean, I guess my question would be the Disney board of directors or the Disney shareholders or whatever, are they willing to look at his entire track record and go, look at him, how he built up an entire universe from day one to now? Or are they just going to go, yeah, but his last couple didn't make a lot of money, so he's out?
Yeah, maybe.
You know? Because that feels like the more realistic result there. They'll just go, oh, well, you haven't maintained $5 billion a year for the last 10 years, so...
But I also think that, like...
We'll get somebody else who can definitely do that.
Yeah. I also think that, like, if they were smart, they would realize that a lot of that is probably not his fault.
Yeah, sure.
Like, he can't...
But bearing this in mind, they're not smart.
Yeah, but exactly. Then, because you need to recognize...
They're ghouls.
That
just happen to have a lot of money.
When there's 5 movies a year and 400 episodes or whatever of Marvel television, then, this is going to happen.
But that's what they want for Star Wars.
Yes.
They want 5 movies a year and 100 episodes.
I think they should pull back, like, after all this, whatever they're doing with Star Wars, stop making Star Wars TV for a little bit. Yeah.
Bold.
Just go back to movies.
What's the last thing on the ticket for Star Wars TV currently?
Well, there's Andor 2,
Oh, yeah.
the Skeleton Crew or Key or something, the Jude Law one. There's...
It's Skeleton's xylophone.
Yes.
With Jude Law. Dung, 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 dung.
There's a bunch of like Ahsoka and Mandalorian stuff that leads up to that movie.
Okay.
I don't know which series they're doing in particular.
Right. Okay.
Maybe another Boba Fett. I doubt it, but
right.
maybe. Yeah. Maybe a Timothy Olyphant series. Yes. I just want Andor. I don't care about anything else. Yeah. I want a second season of Andor that's even better than the first season of Andor, and I'll be mad if it's not.
Well, then you're going to have to go out and you're going to have to get everyone you know who isn't currently subscribed to Disney Plus. You're going to get them to promise to subscribe for Andor.
In writing? Or I get a video?
Both would be ideal.
Okay. Yeah, cool. All right.
And then maybe they'll make more Andor.
I will do that.
Okay, great.
Let's talk about this. Trailers ahoy. First one we're going to talk about is Netflix's Avatar The Last Airbender, which is the second live-action adaptation
That's right.
of Avatar The Last Airbender.
What?
This one obviously has people going, wow, things can be good.
This looks just like the cartoon, but real.
But real life.
And what if cartoon, but real life? Here it is.
And off the success of, like, they've had some pretty successful anime adaptations. I know this isn't technically the anime. Shut up.
Shut up! Shut up! All of you, shut up! All the voices, shut up!
But, because we had, what was it recently, the Gumby guy doing a big stretch.
Sure, One Piece.
Yeah, pirate time. And so, it's it looks very faithful. I've watched the entire series, and it's like
I've watched even more.
Yeah, no, you haven't. I watched it a couple of years ago, and it's fucking terrific. It's so good. And we also did record a Caravan of Garbage for the movie like 2 years ago, which we haven't released, which we will release when this movie comes out, show comes out. whatever it is.
Okay.
Don't you think?
And that's a Weekly Planet guarantee.
Right?
Yep. I don't know. I don't even know where it is.
I don't
Do
know.
you know where it is?
I hope so.
Okay. Because I'm not watching the movie again.
I know
I
you're
remember
not.
not liking it.
What about if we did this?
Go on.
Listen to me.
Yes.
Listen.
Go on.
We watch it again. We record a second one. We do 2 weeks of it.
I love that. And we'll see how
they're
they
the
match
same.
up. Yeah. Well, we'll see if we do all the same jokes. That'd be fun.
Should we do that? Or is that
No.
really stupid?
That's really stupid.
I feel like it could be good.
But it's just that podcast, the worst idea of all time, but we don't commit to it for
It's
a
just
year.
twice.
So we should commit to it for a year?
I couldn't.
No.
I can't commit to anything for a year. So what are we doing? Last
Avatar.
Airbender. Yeah, it looks good. What do you think?
Looks good.
Got some familiar faces.
Does it?
I don't know. They've cast. Not everyone's like a white guy.
Oh, great.
Which is good. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say about this other than it's coming out in February, maybe.
It's pretty good.
But that might not even be true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know nothing.
What do you know? What don't
I
you
don't know
know?
nothing, but I know it looked better than the movie they did. So
Yes, that is.
I think they should do if they're going this way, I think they should do a live action TV version of Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. The original one. Wait, is
The
that
one we
original?
watched.
Oh, that one.
The
Oh,
one-
yeah. Oh, that's a fucking.
The one where they do karate around a car or whatever.
I hated that. It made me feel bad. Thinking about that makes me feel bad.
Well, what if it was a better version, but on Netflix, and it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
TV series?
Some things just shouldn't. I know they're talking about doing like they're probably going to do a live action Invincible.
Yep. Mhm.
Just don't.
Sure.
Just don't do it.
Just don't do it? Yeah,
You don't
great.
need to. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's working.
I agree.
It's working. Don't touch it.
But it's not legit unless it's live action, James.
Oh,
It'll never become
God.
legit until it's a live action show.
Yeah, you're probably right. Well, speaking of live action, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire gets a trailer.
What a segue, by the way.
Why is that?
Speaking of live action.
It is live action.
I guess.
I was thinking also because Kumail Nanjiani's in this and he talked about how like it was his dream to be in a Ghostbusters, was his
Okay.
favorite movie as a kid or whatever, which is what you said. And apparently this plays like an episode of the real Ghostbusters animated series from the 80s. Like it's
okay.
got that kind of energy to it.
Yeah, the plot seems to be that there's some evil ghost that is making everything cold.
Yeah.
Which is classic.
What I
Ghostbusters
think, yeah,
cartoon
what I
series.
also think about this as well is, thank God, and it might change into this, it's not just fucking Zool again or whatever, you know?
That's true,
They're
yes.
trying a new spooky
Yeah,
ghost
I think the
situation.
idea behind this one is most likely, well, we re-established the characters and we tied it to the old stuff in the last one.
Yeah.
So now this is a new Ghostbusters adventure, which
Yeah.
everybody will hate.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Look, you know I hate Ghostbusters.
I do.
And I hate anybody who talks to me about Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Even me right now.
Yes,
talking to you.
that's right.
Okay,
It's-
that's
I'm
fair.
seething.
No. Well, if it's a rule for everyone else, it should be a rule for me.
Yeah. And like my controversial opinion is that like I think Ghostbusters 2 is about as good as the 2016 reboot.
Yeah, we talked about
And
it,
the
yeah.
only reason I think that is because people like that second one, and it's fine, I guess, is because it's the original cast. But it's not a particularly funny movie.
Yeah, we rewatched it in the last few years.
It's
and it
whatever.
was-
It's got some
yeah.
okay ideas and special effects, but yeah.
But again, what?
And I didn't like the new one because it was just like it got to like the last 30 minutes and they just did the ending of the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
They just did the whole fucking thing again.
I should rewatch that one. Anyway, what is interesting to me about this trailer, and they did it the same with the last one with Afterlife. It's depicting Ghostbusters with such an incredible hushed reverence.
Yeah.
Given that the
Like
last
they're not just fucking rat catchers.
That's right. That's right. Just dirty rat catchers covered in grime and slime. Just,
Yeah.
there's no jokes in this, which is fascinating to me.
No jokes busters.
No
I feel like we've done
we
that
did that
before.
one. We did it. We absolutely did. But yeah, I mean, the last one did have some jokes in it.
Yeah, I know. Like I've spoken well of it. It's fine. It's like the Force Awakens for fucking Ghostbusters.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, all your heroes turn up and they bring back people who died in real life. That's what people want, apparently. So fucking whatever. I think for this though,
But you say to me, you always say it, Harold Ramis has got to stay dead. That's what you say to
I
me.
said that.
You say that before we start every podcast. And you go to put the hand in, like we're going to do a chant, and I'm like, I won't do that. It doesn't even make sense.
You want him to come
He's
back?
obviously going to die. He's obviously going to stay dead in real life. We don't have to do the hands in thing.
Then just commit to it. It's fine.
Sure.
If you're so confident about it,
I'm mostly confident.
it's like where it's just believe in God, because why not? Because what if it's real? You know,
That's true.
It's the same thing.
And if I don't, I'll go to hell.
That's
so,
right.
so I guess I have to say Harold Ramis stay dead, otherwise I go to hell.
Exactly.
Anyway, I think it's fascinating. But you're not prepared to put some jokes in this trailer for a comedy, this comedy sci-fi
maybe it's
fantasy
not a comedy.
movie?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's got funny people in it, like Patton Oswalt's in it,
Patton
Paul
Oswalt's in
Rudd's
it.
in it, Kumail Nanjiani's in it.
The Ghostbusters kids.
also, like-
Bill Murray was funny once.
That's right, he was at some point.
And he liked being in movies at some point.
I don't think
But
that's true.
That one frame of him in this trailer, he does not look like he wants to be there.
No.
Here's the thing. You know how we talked about, and you informed me of this when we talked about Ghostbusters, Girl Ghostbusters for Caravan of Garbage.
Okay.
It was that there is some sort of proviso in the contracts for new Ghostbusters movies that everybody who's currently still alive involved in the production of Ghostbusters 1 has to agree to make the movie, otherwise it can't happen.
Oh, okay. Did I say that?
I think you did. Maybe you made it up.
I don't know.
But I think the idea was that it had to be like Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and
Whoever else.
One
Ernie
of the
Hudson.
No, I don't think he's on the.
Well, he was a late addition, wasn't he?
That's true. Yeah. I think maybe Landis.
Oh, okay.
And I think the
Fucking
idea.
Landis.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wait, who directed?
Oh,
first
no,
one?
it's Ramis. Not Harold Ramis. What the fuck's his name? Ivan Reitman.
Ivan Reitman.
His
there we
son
go.
does it. Jason Reitman.
Yeah, Jason
does it
Reitman.
now,
Yeah, the Reitmans. So I think the idea was that they all had to sign off on any sequels, whether or not they were in them.
Okay.
So I guess my question is, does signing off on a sequel mean that all the original Ghostbusters have to be in the
I mean, maybe,
movie? Because that would explain why he's like, is it some sort of double-edged sword, this contract, where he's like, I'm not going to sign off on this. I hold the balance of power here. But then once he finally signs on the line, he's like, well, you got to be in this.
You got to be in it, man. Yeah, absolutely.
You got to be in it to win it.
Anyway, I will say this. I think this could be good.
Yeah.
Genuinely, because it looks slightly different.
Yes.
And imagine having a slightly different Ghostbusters movie.
I won't do it.
Yeah, no, you just want original Ghostbusters where everybody's young again, right?
Exactly. That's what I want.
Yeah, and no jokes. Just reverence.
That's right.
Just reverence to different technologies we
But
saw.
there's a lot of like cutting to them, and they've got the proton gun, and there's just like hushed tones
My
and
goodness.
chanting.
Oh, my
and they fire
God.
it up, and they say something cool and pithy.
Yeah.
Eat proton zaps ghosts.
I liked
you
how
dogs.
J.K. Simmons was in it for a second. I like that.
Was he?
Yeah, he was like Ivor fucking whatever his name.
Chando. Oh, yeah, he was too. Yeah,
came
yeah.
back and
Yeah,
whatever.
that's great.
Yeah, it's great.
It is great.
It's not great. No, but I did like that actually. Anyways,
It's great.
Fucking whatever. Let's move it along.
Okay. All right.
Let's talk live action Zelda movie.
Okay.
Now, Mario Brothers had a big movie this year.
Those Mario Brothers.
It wasn't live action, but boy, did it make $1 billion despite being not great, but
That's
fine.
correct.
But it looked like Mario. This one is going to be directed by Wes Ball, who did the Maze Runner trilogy.
I thought you were going to say where's Borland.
You wish.
From Limp Bizkit.
No, I wish. Fred Durst is a director, isn't he? He directs stuff occasionally.
Sure.
Like movies.
Yeah.
He also is directing the new Planet of the Apes movie, which we talked about last week, the trailer. Now, the wrinkle in this, people are saying that Avi Arad is producing. Famous Spider-Man ruiner. But he also brought the original Spider-Man in, like the Tobey Maguire thing, like he had a huge hand in that, even kicking off like the MCU until
true.
Kevin Feige sidestepped him and
Stabbed him in the back.
put him in a bin.
Yeah.
So, and he's been, he's around.
That's true.
Yeah, and he has had some, wasn't there something, he had a good idea for something recently you told me about. Like he made somebody.
Was it Smell-O-Vision?
No, he made somebody the villain or the main focus of something. It was like it was the Spot. He
yeah.
He said put the Spot in
The Spider-Verse
Spider-Verse movie.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
He's got ideas.
All right, dial it down with the language when referring to Avi Arad, please.
What I'm saying is that I don't necessarily, even though people think this is bad, I don't necessarily think it is.
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance that this just will be bad in general.
Okay.
But
Arad or no Arad?
yeah, because it's a live action fucking Zelda movie, and I'm assuming it'll be like a new universe with a bunch of references to the other universes.
Well, aren't all Zelda games like a new universe to some
Yeah,
degree?
except for like the direct sequels, but yes, they're all different.
What are we thinking casting for that Zelda?
Well,
and
people
Link?
are saying for Zelda, obviously, that famous green character with his bow and arrow, Mason.
yes, we're doing-
People are saying like a Tom Holland or a Timothy Chalamet
hate
or
those.
whatever. What do you think?
What's that fella? That young fella. He was in Evil Dead Rise, and he was also in One Piece.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Isn't he Australian?
He is.
I liked Evil Dead Rise.
Morgan Davies.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Could be both.
Could be both. What about
Because a lot of people have said like cast.
Ganondorf, Bruce Campbell.
I love that.
Yes.
Wow.
What were you saying though? You were saying something?
That some
You were
people,
saying?
Some people have said
I haven't said anything.
just have Zelda and Link be played by the same person.
Yeah. Love that.
But for real,
But
why
for
not?
real, yeah, do it. I don't care. Whatever. I don't like anything, so it's fine. I'm not impressed or like anything.
Yeah.
So
But I think they have to be Zelda and Link have to be young and like what's the term, androgynous.
yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the way it goes, man.
I agree.
If you don't like it, get in the bin. Get in the bin. I'm really hungover.
Yeah, no, I know. I can tell.
You know?
Yeah.
Is it also because I told you before
You
the
told me
show?
earlier, yeah. And from that information, I've gleaned that simple truth about you. When you said you were really hungover earlier. But I think the listeners have figured it out.
I think they know.
By this point.
Yeah.
They're like, surly old James is back.
That's
He's probably
right.
had one Ivo Shandy.
I did not.
And now he's a little. He's under
I
the
went to
weather.
my gym Christmas party for some
Wow.
reason.
Wow.
And let me tell you, got out of hand.
That's November.
You got to get in on it, mate.
Sure.
You got to get early.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about gym life.
That's true.
You don't know.
Oh, this is the equivalent of like getting up at 5:30 a.m. for a workout.
Exactly.
You have your Christmas party in November.
This is 2025's Christmas party.
Oh,
That's
nice.
how far we're getting ahead of it. Anyways, last bit of news, which I
Yes.
thought was fun. GQ spoke to Jeremy Allen White, who people might know from The Bear. He's the bear in that.
And also Shameless. He's in.
he's in
the
Shameless.
Shameless one.
He's in
He's
New-
Mr. Shameless.
He's Mr. Shameless. He's in.
He's all like, whoa,
What do you
check it
think?
out. What do you reckon? Come on, Mr. Shameless. Bit of decorum, please.
Nah,
Put it all away, Mr.
I
Shameless.
won't.
Well, he's got to be shameless.
He's also in Zac Efron wrestling family movie,
I used to, yeah.
which people are looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make that sound like there's going to be a positive outcome for that family. It sounds-
Is that not what it's about?
I don't believe so.
It's not like the one Fighting with My Family that they
No.
did with whatever?
No, I think
Okay.
it should be called Tragic Fighting with My Soon-to-be-dead family.
Oh, no.
Actually, I don't know what it's about, but I don't think that ends well for any
No,
of
it
them.
doesn't. I don't know specifically how, but I think you're right. Anyways, he spoke to GQ about making a Marvel movie. This is what he
yeah.
said. I had a meeting for a kind of Marvel-y movie, and I had an attitude. I think I played it all wrong. Tell me why I should do your movie, is what he said. And they were like, fuck you. And I was like, right on.
That's pretty great. Now, what's the speculation here? What do you think? Because he said, I reckon if he went to Marvel,
Yeah.
he would have said, I went to Marvel. See, I would have, if somebody said
Oh, you think it was like a
DC
like,
or
Bloodshot?
Sony.
Do you want to
or-
be in a Bloodshot
Yeah,
sequel?
maybe a Bloodshot sequel. Because, and that's the thing, like, I would have said he might be a shoe-in for Wolverine, new Wolverine.
Oh, I like
Because
that,
he's
yeah.
little and he's incredibly ripped, if
Yeah.
you've seen him.
Yep.
But, I think he's got the look, I think, and the vibe.
He's got the look. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know. Marvel-y, who knows what that means? It could just mean a franchise thing.
Yeah, or maybe he's in the world of like most people where everything's kind of Marvel-y.
Yeah.
So Marvel stuff is Marvel-y.
Yep.
DC stuff is sort of Marvel-y.
It's all Marvel-y, man.
Bloodshot sequel is Marvel-y.
Very Marvel-y.
So maybe he did go to Marvel.
Yeah.
Maybe they just put him in a car and drove him a place.
Maybe they
were
did.
like, you want to be Wolverine? And he went, tell me why.
Why should I?
Yeah.
And then went, fuck you. And he went,
Right
right
on.
on.
Right on.
He just got up and left? Right on.
Yeah,
And then he
probably,
left.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got some McConaughey vibes.
Definitely does. He probably got an electric scooter when he left. Yeah. Anyway, should we move it along?
Yeah, let's move it along.
All right, the Marvels
Uh-oh.
came out.
How'd it do?
Bad.
Oh, no.
It's doing bad.
It's still bad. We didn't talk about it because it came out, the final trailer came out between the last podcast and this podcast, and the
Yep.
movie's out now. So, but I don't know if you saw it.
No.
But just a fascinating piece of, they just put in some like Captain America and Iron Man archival
Oh, I
footage.
did see a bit of that,
Did you see
yeah,
that?
yeah.
It was a real,
You remember
real
Avengers?
swing for the fences. You remember Endgame? Well, this is the next movie after Endgame. Forget everything else.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry.
You don't need to know anything that happened. As far as you're concerned, you fell asleep after Endgame. You woke up. It's time for the next movie. Don't even worry about it. Disney Plus, never heard of it. Disney
Nope.
Plus series, don't know what you're talking about.
Secret Invasion?
WandaVision,
What?
WandaVision, Ms. Marvel, never heard of him.
Nope. She-Hulk?
Never
Nope.
heard of it. Nope.
Shut up.
It's only Man-Hulk.
That's right. Now, on a budget of maybe $250 million, that fluctuates. Some people say 220. And had a box office opening US. It's expected to have a 47 to 52 million weekend, or 110 to 115 million worldwide. It also had the second lowest opening day gross behind the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, no.
Out of the whole MCU.
That one doesn't even count for some reason.
No, it doesn't count. It's not a real one. It also has the lowest opening weekend debut for a Disney MCU movie
Uh-oh.
domestically, as in the US.
So does that not include the ones that they made before Marvel was acquired by Disney?
Yeah, I guess. No,
So
but
the
even
first
then,
three.
I think even then it's still
Yeah,
worse.
no.
And it's got the lowest international weekend box office for a Disney MCU movie. Also, even like Ant-Man somehow got over $100 million in its opening weekend domestic. And that's not a good movie. Ant-Man 3, I should specify.
sure,
which
sure.
probably came out this year.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right, though.
Well, the year before or 10 years ago?
I don't know. Did it come out?
Or it came out exclusive to Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Or was it on Quibi?
Was it a Christmas special?
I got a new phone this week, and I swapped all the apps over, and my
You got
phone,
Quibi?
My phone was like, "You want to swap over Quibi, the system that is no longer existing." The
What did you
streaming
get Quibi for?
Because we talked about.
Oh, we talked about the golden arm.
Yeah.
That's right. That's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, and as a result of this also, they started just scrambling to promote this using the actors in it because the writer's strike ended just as it was opening for the weekend. So they pushed out everybody in this movie
That's right.
in front of various cameras and press events.
Yeah.
And
The cats, they got Goose out
They
there.
got Goose out.
They didn't get Goose to scab.
And I would say, we talked about this because there was an article, and not having your actors promote the movie could account for maybe 10% of opening gross or
Right,
whatever, which, is not insignificant, but it doesn't account for what has happened
No,
here.
that's true, yeah.
There is obviously some fatigue in relation to the MCU happening at the moment. Anyways, what do you think the story was?
Oh, come on, mate. All right, well, Avengers Endgame happened.
Yep.
That was the last movie we saw.
And then don't worry about it.
Don't worry about anything, but let me think. What happened in this movie?
Some people said it's the plot of Spaceballs, but I don't remember Spaceballs well enough to confirm that to be true.
Is it?
I don't know. The villain's plot.
Oh.
I don't remember.
No, I don't think
remember
it is.
Spaceballs.
We'll look it up later.
Okay.
All right. So, bloody bad things are happening on the planet Hala, which is the Kree home world.
What?
It's not looking too good.
No.
But the leader of the Kree is
Maybe you shouldn't have turned off your sun, you fucking idiots.
You idiot, you stupid idiots.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Oh, our computer went down. Let's turn off the sun. Think. You don't need a computer to tell you to not turn off the sun. You should know that.
Yeah.
That's instinctual.
Yeah. You need the sun to grow your veggies and so forth.
Should we get rid of all our water? No, obviously not.
Don't do that. Don't do it. You need that to water the veggies. Anyway, the leader of the Kree is like, well, this is all Captain Marvel's fault, so let's get her.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, bloody Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel and Photon, I guess, Spectrum.
Do they name?
No, she doesn't get it. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Monica Rambeau's character does not get her superhero name. Their powers get entangled.
That's right.
Quantum style.
Quantum entangled.
So that's going to lead to a big predicament, isn't it?
I agree. And that is what happened.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I liked it.
I didn't mind it.
Pretty fun.
I thought it was better than the first one.
Okay, yeah.
I thought it was more interesting in terms of the things they were doing. And some of the things that I think people are like, this is big time cringe, this moment actually.
Oh,
I
because
feel like
this Ms. Marvel meets Captain Marvel for the first time after kind of, idolizing her for years. And I think a lot of people are like,
that's not
cringe hero worship.
That's not the things that I thought was cringe hero worship. Also, what I liked about that dynamic was that Captain Marvel wasn't dismissive and Tony Starking it. She was like, I know you like me and that's cool. I like you too. I thought that was a more interesting dynamic than her being like, whatever, kid. Get away from me, kid.
Get away from me, and I'm gonna observe you from afar and don't do anything I wouldn't do or anything I would do.
Exactly.
Oh, you've made a mistake because I wasn't there. Well, that's your fault. I'm Tony Stark.
That's right. But no, I think a lot of the stuff that was weirder and more interesting as a concept, there's a particular planet they go to at one point, and there's a little routine and thing that happens there. And I feel like stuff like that was the weirdest stuff was either cut short or cut out.
Okay.
And that was the stuff to me that I know people cringe and whatever, I'm sure.
Right,
But that to me is that's a fun thing.
Yeah.
That's a fun little sequence that.
Right.
Yeah. A silly thing. And there's a few things in that where I'm like, oh, that's fun and silly. And it felt like that they really just went, how much of this can we cut out?
Right.
That's what it felt like to me.
Because this is quite a short movie, isn't
It's
it?
the shortest MCU movie we've ever seen.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Not shorter than a TV show, but one episode of a TV show. Any TV show. Yeah, I think it's better than Captain Marvel. I think it's and I think the dynamic between the three of them is good and fun.
I agree, yeah.
And leads to some interesting interplay and also action sequences.
I think there are some really interesting action sequences, and I think the mechanism of their powers are entangled, and so every time they
quantum entangled.
Quantum entangled. So anytime they use them in sort of when they sort of go all out, they switch places.
Yeah.
If they use them at the same time, I think that was a really good mechanism for sort of nerfing Captain Marvel, so she can't just be cutting ships in half with her lasers and what have you. And I don't mean that in a negative. I mean that in the way I think that's a in an Endgame style situation or, the finale to Captain Marvel, her just blowing up, whole armadas of spaceships, I think that's fun.
Yeah.
But I think when you team up these sorts of characters, you need a mechanism. So it makes sense that it's not just Captain Marvel.
Just obliterating
everything, and then the rest of the team just sort of following in her footsteps, shoveling debris out of the way or whatever. So I thought that was interesting. And like you said, it leads to, some fun action sequences where they're learning how that system works.
Some switchy fights.
Yeah, and even a couple of Kree soldiers can sort of become a credible threat.
Yes.
Because you don't know what's going to happen when you use your powers. So you have to lean on just a big punch.
Just a big fist fighting.
Just a big fist
Hit
fighting.
somebody with a vase and etc.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think, again, like we say with every Marvel movie, I think the casting is what works. So I think Brie Larson's great. Iman Vellani is terrific, of course. Tiana Paris as...
Photon or whoever.
I think they're, like you said, they're a great teamwork.
Yeah.
Supporting cast, of course, we've got Samuel L. Jackson is back.
Oh, yeah.
Which is nice.
He forgot Secret Invasion, I assume.
Didn't bring it up
He
at all.
didn't say anything about it.
Didn't say anything about it.
But this is also, there are like Skrulls and Kree, and he didn't mention that.
Didn't mention it at all,
He didn't mention how like the president was a Skrull or whatever, did he? Or
No, he didn't mention that at all. No.
I would have brought it up.
That he shot his friend Rhodey in the head and it turned out he was a Skrull.
Yeah.
Didn't mention that at all.
Nah.
No. Yeah, I wonder if there was more. Again, do you think there was more to that in this? Had Secret Invasion been a success?
No, I don't think these were ever linked. I know, like I saw an interview might have been with the director Nia DaCosta, who was like, "Oh, he's different in this because like he's around different people, so like he has a different like vibe when he's hanging out with these guys as opposed to like Ben."
He's wearing a brown jacket, not a black jacket.
But I think it's just he's just in this movie is different.
That's right.
He's just different.
Yeah.
But, he's always good as Nick Fury, so I don't have any complaints.
Do you think there were two sound stages, one for Secret Invasion and one for the Marvels, and he would just switch between? He'd put a different jacket on,
different volumes.
Yeah, so he'd remember which version of the character he was.
Which eye patch? Do I just switch the eye patch to the other eye? And then can I do that? Then I'll know which movie I'm supposed to be in or whatever.
But who else? I think...
Villain's not great.
Sorry?
The villain's not great. In terms of like... I think I like her. But I think it's a pretty kind of like...
you took everything from me.
Yeah, and now I'm going to... Also, she's right. But it's also like, but I'm going to kill a bunch of refugees, etc. Whatever. So it's that. It's that thing again.
It is that thing again. Yeah, again, I think Iman Vellani's a standout. I think she's really good in this, as she was in the TV series. If people haven't checked it out, which I'm sure a lot of people haven't.
Yep.
But yeah, I liked her enthusiasm. I liked her, I like the character's reverence for the universe that she's in, and like, I don't know, we need a character who knows what they're doing in terms of like just being kind of happy to be in the universe. Yeah. I think the enthusiasm definitely works.
It's a fun animated sequence.
And we get a family who I like as well.
Well, one of them might be a bad guy in real life.
He might be a bad guy in real life, but he's in every scene that all the family are in. And so it probably would be hard to cut him out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I think also, the suits are good. There's a moment where they all get some new Captain Marvel-esque suits, and I think all of those will look good. The new Captain Marvel one that Brie Larson has, it's kind of got a Superman, Man of Steel kind of vibe and texturing to it.
And
it's like
sort of
it's a muted kind of
suit.
And I quite like the look of that one as well. But I think all the suits, like all the different suits, are very kind of dynamic and fit like their personas and all of that really well, which I think is fun.
They did that thing though, where Photon or whoever, she gets the suit, and it's meant to be like. There's a version of her from the 80s that has a kind of like a silky wing kind of situation, and she has them on for a fraction of a second. She's like, no, it doesn't work for me, and she rips them off kind of thing.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that.
Okay, no, commit to
You don't like it?
I think she
keep the silky wings?
Keep the silky wings.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely. I'm just going to talk about this sequence. This is a minor spoiler, but there's a moment where, the time goes below if you want to skip, but there's a moment where they go to like a planet where they communicate through song. And so most of them can't speak or understand you if you talk normally. Everything's communicated through.
They do speak in English.
Yeah, they do speak in English. I mean, they've all got universal translators.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really fun.
Yeah,
and again, like I think that's got to be a thing that people are like, I hate this and cringe or whatever. Yeah. But anytime that, even if it didn't work for me, which I think it did, I just like appreciate put a weird singing planet in here. Why not?
The thing, what I thought was interesting about that is that they didn't get everybody involved.
Well, that's what I think. I reckon this was like a bigger kind of moment.
And everybody saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and you could have done like
Was there a dance sequence in
Ms. Marvel?
Ms. Marvel?
I'm pretty sure there was at some point, maybe.
So I think it's odd that they didn't get. I would have liked to seen
Yeah.
Ms. Marvel and Photon or whoever and the family
That's
all
what
get
I mean.
involved.
I don't think they committed to like
Yeah.
certain ideas
You
in
would
this.
think that you'd be like, oh, I remember this.
Yeah.
This happened in my TV series, Ms. Marvel. I'll also do. Like, Iman Vellani's sort of there in the background.
Yeah.
She's into it, the character. But it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
That would have been fun.
absolutely.
Yeah, but it was still fun.
Yeah, I thought, again, fun, but like I could have done with more of this. I also, there's a reason why like the Kree are coming after Captain Marvel. And there's kind of this
She
moment.
didn't pay her taxes.
That's right. There's a moment of like reflection of how she kind of caused a bunch of this and whatever. And I think that's an interesting element to this character of like, well, this whole thing that's happening is because of you. But it feels really like they speed through that.
They do, don't they?
And
Yeah.
I would have liked to have kind of like, not like sat in the consequences of it for too long, but like explore that idea a little bit more. That she rushed to do this thing which caused the events of
She
this
didn't
movie.
pay her taxes.
Didn't pay her taxes.
And they didn't have enough money to maintain the artificial intelligence. And then it shut down and they were like, well, let's blow up the sun, I guess.
So yeah, do you know what I mean by that though?
I know exactly what you mean.
And that's, again, this is why I think this movie is like, it's fun in moments and it's fine, but it really feels like they just took a fucking axe to a bunch of this.
Yeah. I liked the sort of, we got to look in with Saber, which is like the space-based shield.
Yeah.
And I just liked, it's sort of it's
How
sort
was
of
that guy 300 years old? What was he?
I wonder if he was Asgardian or something.
Oh, okay, maybe it was. I recognize him, but I don't know whether it's from the MCU or something else.
Yeah, I don't know. But I like the idea we got a look at like Earth's integration into the larger like cosmic Marvel universe. Like it's just sort of, it's in orbit and we're not out in like Guardians of the Galaxy style. We're just sort of like reaching out like as far as we can into space. I thought that was a bit fun.
There's an attempt, to do that. I think also like aesthetically, it's way more interesting than I think a bunch of Marvel stuff recently. I think it looks better than a lot of MCU stuff recently.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it feels like in terms of like special effects and like design, it feels finished.
Yeah.
And like, because I remember the aesthetic of like Captain Marvel I found was just kind of like generic space blare. But here I think you're like seeing different ships and planets and alien races. It felt more kind of what you do in like a Guardians movie or one of the better Thor movies than just like a generic Blade Runner sci-fi,
Yes, for
whatever, And I love movies, but I thought this was okay.
You don't love all movies.
No, that's true, actually. I love the Ghostbusters movies.
I was going to say you love the Ghostbusters movies. I know that about you.
Should we do some spoilers?
Yes.
Yeah, best
I'm going
movie
to say
ever.
best movie
Yeah,
ever. I
but,
had a lot of fun with this.
I
mean,
think-
compare it to, what are the last few Marvel movies?
Ant-Man.
Garbage.
Thor.
Garbage.
Yeah, I thought it was better than those. It's not better than Guardians 3.
No, it's not. No.
Yeah,
No.
but
it's not like I wouldn't go, God, I wish I was watching Guardians 3 right now.
Yeah, but do you wish you were?
No.
Even now?
No, even now.
Instead of doing this?
No.
You could
but
watch a movie.
I think, to me, this feels like a fun palate cleanser in the sense of like, not every Marvel movie can be Guardians 3 because there's some heavy issues in it.
Yeah.
And there's some like closure to character arcs and, it gets quite, it gets quite deep into the grief and the et cetera. And so did Black Panther 2.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like,
yeah. Oh, God, that was brutal.
Yeah, if we missed, like if we skipped a few, this would be like, oh, this is one where we just go in there and we have a bit of fun and, the universe is at stake, but also we're just having a bit of fun and
It's also interesting that, this was originally rotten on Rotten Tomatoes and now it's at a 62%. So it's a little bit high. So it's now just fresh. And not that this means anything because this can be changed in any number of ways, but the audience score is 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I feel like the response to this is like people are like, not always, but a lot of it's like, it's, unless you're like Brie Larson, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly,
I'm not putting that aside because, God, that fucking noise. But
Are you hungover right now, James?
Yes, Mason, I'm hungover right now.
right.
But I think people are genuinely like, it's all right. But I also think that off the back of what we've had for maybe the last few movies and years and TV shows, then people aren't going to. I think that is the main reason why people aren't seeing this.
Do you think?
Also, because did they even promote it properly? I don't know if they did.
What was the last Pixar movie that didn't do well initially, but then word of mouth went around and
something happened.
Turning Red? It wasn't Turning
No,
Red. It was
Elemental ended up doing.
There we go. That's the one.
Which I didn't think was great, but it did. Like they left it out and
They left it out there. Maybe that's
Maybe this could happen.
Yeah, I think this movie has stuff in it where if we weren't at this point in the Marvel decline.
Yeah.
That people will go, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
You know?
Like if it had come out like before Endgame or whatever, that's what you're saying?
Not even. I think, I think if people weren't... I would like to think that I'm not going into these movies kind of like, well, I'm ready to hate this kind of thing.
I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did. I thought it would be like really fucking middling. And it was like better than that for me.
Go, yeah.
But let me hear your opinion if this becomes a YouTube video. Let me just scream about it in the bottom. Anyway, spoilers.
Yeah.
What's the deal with Ms. Marvel's powers, right? So she's got the photon band or whatever. But did her powers still work without it?
It seems like...
What's happening? What are her powers again?
Okay, what seems to be happening is...
Crystal time.
Well, she is officially a mutant.
Yes.
Although I think technically she might be a mutate.
Oh.
But it's not important. What I think happened is the bangle activated her inherent powers, I think.
And then she can just still do it.
And then she can do it without the bangle.
Okay.
Because they didn't seem
the bangles.
They didn't, yeah, they didn't, there didn't seem to be any...
Did we say best movie ever?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I
great.
think you also did. I
never.
think otherwise there'd be a line in there like, oh, I can only take the bangle off for a minute, otherwise I lose my powers or something like that.
Okay,
But there didn't seem to be any concern for that. I think she just wears it because it was a grandma's bangle.
Sure, okay.
So,
Absolutely. Okay, makes sense. So Tessa Thompson's in this briefly.
That is true.
Apparently they were talking about like...
See, I think again, pre-Endgame, I think people would be like, ah!
Tessa Thompson!
Yep.
I saw that like there was some speculation that like, oh, are they a couple? Like Brie Larson and...
Oh,
and
like
her,
maybe they
like,
were.
Yeah, but like... Because it's a Disney movie, it's like I didn't get that sense like at all.
Right.
Like if that was supposed to be implied that
Right.
they had some kind of relationship, I didn't get that.
Okay.
They whatever like they played
But you
it
can't
safe.
understand human mannerisms.
I don't need to. I don't need to. I just need facts and logic and clarity.
Yeah, sure.
And not have this splitting fucking headache.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I need. But yeah, did you get that sense? Like I didn't feel that at all. I thought they were like friendly, like they'd hung out and they knew each other. But
No, I definitely got an idea of like something.
okay,
Yeah, I'm like, well, they're definitely
But it's
close.
enough
But
that
maybe
you
it's because they
can-
murdered all those people in Endgame.
maybe it is.
You know?
But also like it's vague enough where you can leave that in and have that interpretation, and then you don't get banned in whatever country.
That's true.
for-
Yeah,
for
I mean
doing
that is classic Disney non-committal.
Yep.
Obviously. So, but yeah, I got the impression it's like, well, maybe probably. They've had adventures off
Yep.
screen or whatever.
Maybe they have.
Maybe they have.
Maybe they
They're cosmic space-based people, whatever.
Whoa, I love that.
Pretty good.
Anyway, I like the Cats moment.
Sure.
They
okay,
play a
yeah.
song from Cats.
Oh.
And then all the cats eat all the people and whatever. I thought that was again a fun thing to have.
I thought it was good because we learn early on that the flirkin eating people doesn't kill them necessarily.
It's got like a pocket dimension.
Yeah. And then at the end we go, oh, what's the solution? And I'm like, I bet those are flirkin eggs and the
Yeah, I think they're from the comics, right? It took me a second
Yeah,
to be
right,
like,
uh-huh.
what is this again? I'm like,
Okay.
I've seen this, but I don't
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
from
yeah.
what. Yeah.
I mean, it was telegraphed pretty heavily. There's one point the woman's like, I don't know how we're all going to get off the space station. If only we could all fit in the one space pod. And
they did. They somehow
actually
figured
did.
it out, yeah. But yeah, as I alluded to, or maybe I just straight out said,
You said it.
Captain Marvel is a big murderer. Because straight after the events of original Captain Marvel, she flew back to the Kree homeworld
And they've
fucked up
retconned
the
the Supreme
computer,
Intelligence, yeah.
Who's a big face now.
They've retconned it back into the classic version where it's just a big green face.
Yeah, which makes sense because like that's the source of it and whatever. And who cares?
I think Annette Bening should have shown up and be
I
like,
agree.
don't kill me. No.
God damn it, no.
No.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
And then because their supercomputer
I'll tell my husband, Warren Beatty, about this. No.
because the supercomputer goes out,
Yeah.
they decide to put out the sun and take all the water and air away.
I don't think they decided to do that.
They did.
Okay.
They made a series of poor decisions.
Right, sure.
And I thought,
Should we turn our hydroelectric station into mining Bitcoin? Yes. Oh, no.
so Brie Larson's like basically, not Brie Larson, the actor, but the Brie Larson character
Yes.
is responsible for, in a way, the decline of this civilization.
Sure, yeah,
and
yeah.
which is why the villain has a big hammer and wants to hit her in
But
the
they
head.
are also like, they are, I mean, they're, I guess their government is like a warmongering,
Yeah,
government.
exactly.
But
So-
it's not the people's fault.
No, but I did feel like that, yeah, again, interesting idea. And I think it also, like, because there are people complaining and like, oh, she's just perfect and good at everything. And it's like, well, not this.
Sure, yeah.
Not this thing that happened.
Well, great way to make a mistake, Brie Larson, the actor, and accidentally destroy the society.
Yeah, I just...
So the villain's plan is,
oh, yeah.
the reveal is that having both... There are two bangles. Ms. Marvel had one and activated
And
her
then there's
powers.
the band.
And then there's the band. So there's three bangles. and the remaining bangle was out in space.
Yep.
And if you combine the two bangles, it enables you to create jump points, hyperspace jump points.
Yes.
And apparently at some point in the distant past, somebody used these bangles to create the jump point network that allows everybody in the Marvel
The
universe
beehive thing you say.
Yeah, all the hexagons that enables them to like fly faster than light to different locations. And so the villain's plan is she is going to open a bunch of unstable jump points to steal the resources from various planets to rebuild her planet.
Yep.
And the planet she's stealing resources from are ones that are significant to Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Because they hate Captain Marvel.
Yep.
Which is fair.
Because she punched out their computer.
She absolutely punched that computer right in its nuts. I mean, what I think the problem, of course, is that happens a lot of the time, I think, with Marvel movies is they're like, oh, by the way, a bunch of stuff happened behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That you didn't see, but trust us, it happened. So Captain Marvel, the planets that are having resources stolen from them are significant to Captain Marvel.
Yes.
So one is Earth, obviously, because that's where she's from. But then the other couple of planets where they're stealing the atmosphere and the water.
There's the Sing Song planet.
There's the Sing Song planet and the Skrull planet.
So what happened to those planets? We never found out. Again,
No, I think they went. No, I think at the end they went. Oh, actually, they'll be fine.
Yeah, but like I feel like that's something that was probably in the movie at some point. Like we saw something happen. You know, we'd cut to the planet at the end.
Oh, and
it'd be
like
the Sing Song planet.
Yeah, and the Skrulls would be there in front of the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Exactly.
Going, we defeated them.
We did it.
No, there was literally just a line where somebody said, "Oh, the planets will recover."
I missed that.
Okay,
completely.
right. Were you hungover?
No, not that
But you were
point.
thinking about getting hungover.
I knew I was going to be.
Yeah, that's right. So
Yeah.
you're probably not focused.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Focused on being a grump.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we'd not seen either of those planets before, like
Yes.
the other two. So it was kind of like, well, this planet is significant to me because I married that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
He kind of looked like Loki a little bit.
That's right.
So the post-credits of this, Mason, this is interesting. So Kevin Feige talked about Harry Styles returning because he was, of course, in the post-credits
yes.
of the Eternals. And he said, he's excited, we're excited, we will see.
Okay.
We've introduced a lot of new characters in a lot of movies and a lot of tags. That is true. Where do the tag folk reappear? That's a good question.
That's a great. I mean, most of them have. A few of them noticeably have not. Specifically, Harry Styles,
Correct.
as Eros, the Eternal of Love.
But we're going to talk about the Beast is in this. Mr. Beast shows
Okay,
up.
well, yeah, Mr. Beast. No. So we get two post credits.
Do we?
Yeah, we get two.
I thought there was a mid-credits and that's it. You might be thinking of a pre-credits.
Was
What's
it
the
a
first
pre-credits?
one you're talking
Well,
about?
the one I'm talking about is that Ms. Marvel goes to big time New York City, baby.
Yeah.
And she meets Hawkeye, new Hawkeye.
That's just at the end of the movie,
Is
I
it?
think.
Okay,
yeah.
right. Well-
she does a Nick Fury on it.
Yeah, again, that's the thing that I think if a few years ago, if they'd done that, people would be like, yes,
Yeah.
they're doing the thing again, but it's
Well,
a
they're
different
doing
thing. It's
Young
a riff.
They're doing
It's
Young
a riff.
Avengers?
It's a Young Avengers thing. So
Yeah.
so she meets new.
We're going to get Hulk bad haircut
We might get Hulk bad haircut.
from She-Hulk.
Yeah, we got a lot of options. I was going to say,
Little Ant-Man.
yeah, young Ant-Man
As in
lady,
younger Ant-Man, yeah.
younger Ant-Man lady.
Yeah. Wait, this sounds like a team of girls.
Well, it's some boys. There's also Scarlet Witch's kids.
Oh, yeah.
Who may or may not be real.
They could put in as Miles Morales, I guess, if they ever get to that. Which
That's
they
true.
probably will.
America Chavez, Team
yeah.
of Girls.
Yep.
Patriot,
Who's that?
Falcon Winter Soldier, the original Captain America's kid. Remember?
Original Captain America's kid.
Do you remember?
Steve Rogers' kid.
No.
What are you talking about?
Eli Bradley. So Isaiah Bradley, who's Carl. Remember Carl Lumley was in Falcon Winter
that's
Soldier?
right.
Yeah. So
I
he was
forgot about him.
he was the guy, he was the Captain America they tested the serum on before they gave it to Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
So he might be on the team.
Yep, cool.
Someone has suggested Kid Loki from Loki.
Oh, yeah.
He could be on it.
Chucking a kid like you.
Ironheart, of course.
Yep.
Scar, Hulk's son, bad haircut.
Yep.
And there you go. That's the whole team, I reckon.
There you go.
That's covered it.
And they could bring in whoever else they really wanted to.
Yeah, that's true. They could.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. But this time around, and that was the end of the movie, I
yeah.
believe.
Okay.
In the mid-credit scene, because of course Photon or whatever her name isn't, goes through a reality to close reality.
Yes, sure.
She accidentally goes into a different reality.
Imagine if you haven't seen this movie and you're trying to piece together the plot from what we've said about it.
I feel like
A
that.
noble endeavor, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, so Photon or whoever, she's gone. She's going to close. She has to close the unstable.
we got to close
jump
the
on.
unstable thing.
Well, I'll use my powers.
No.
Well, I'll have to do a big sacrifice. Okay.
Can you not? No.
No, I'll do it. But I just so you know, though, it won't be a real sacrifice because I'll still be alive on the other side.
And I'll be back. Definitely.
I'll be back. I'll be
Not
fine.
probably,
Yeah.
definitely.
Unless I do something wrong in
Yeah.
my real life, in which case I will be quietly dropped. Anyway, she wakes up in a hospital bed
Yep.
only to discover her mother, who in her normal reality has passed away.
Good
Still
reaction,
alive.
by the way, I thought. She reacted really realistically.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
some good acting, man.
Because her mother died during the blip while she was blipped.
And her mother happened to be wearing a blanket
Yeah, that's right.
over her superhero costume.
That's exactly right. So anyway, she's like, "Oh, my mother, you're alive." But then it turns out that in this reality,
Yep.
Lashana Lynch's character did not have a kid, but instead she got the powers of Captain Marvel, and she's
But not
binary.
not the other movie where she got the powers of Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it's
in
a
the
different
Doctor
one.
Strange.
Yeah. So,
movie, yeah.
and so then Monica Rambeau, Photon or whoever, is attended to by Dr. Hank McCoy, Beast.
Oh my God, who's he played by?
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Sort of Kelsey Grammer, but not. It's a different design. He's all CGI. What's going on there?
The designs from the 90s cartoon. What it seems. Well, not just that, but like
Yeah.
various comic books.
So here's a question for you, James. And this
Is it the X-Men 3 universe? No.
No, it's not. But I again in this a few years ago, if they'd thrown this in, people would be like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
what's happening? Is this how they're going to introduce the X-Men?
Yeah.
What's going on?"
I avoided this spoiler, and then before the movie, I googled like, is there a post credits? And it's like Hank McCoy's in the post credits, played by Kelsey Grammer. I'm like, God damn it!
Yeah.
I'm a moron.
Is it Kelsey Grammer though?
It's his voice.
Is it
It's
though?
sort of his face. Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. Yeah,
Alright.
because if you don't know, people probably know, but he played Beast in X-Men 3. It's not a great movie, but he's a great choice.
Yeah.
and he also appears in Days of Future Past, like very briefly at the very end.
And
Where he's like
he-
Logan.
And is he also in a Deadpool? Is he in Deadpool too? For in a room?
No, they use the other one.
Oh yeah, they
use
used
Young Beast.
Young Beast, yeah.
I think like the CGI is not great.
No.
But the design I like.
Yeah.
I like.
So I guess my question is to you.
Oh, okay. No, it's not the X-Men 3 universe, Mason. I already
It's
answered
not
your
my
question.
question, James. Do you think this is how they're going to introduce
Yes.
the X-Men?
They're gonna-
So this is a universe akin to the multiverse of madness
Yeah.
parallel universe that Doctor Strange went into.
Yep.
Except in this universe, they weren't all torn to shreds by Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
So, but this is a parallel universe.
I think this is how they're gonna. I think they're gonna merge realities, and the X-Men
Yeah.
are gonna be. They're basically just gonna drop in everything. They're not gonna build up the school.
Yeah.
And all the mutants in the 70 years of history. They're
I
just
think
gonna
you're
fucking
right,
dump
yeah.
the whole thing in
I think what is probably going to happen.
like a brain transplant.
Yeah. So for people that don't know, in the comic books, there's the modern day Secret Wars comic.
Yeah.
It's is it the Beyonder? He takes a bunch of realities and he smashes them all together into one world.
Fuck, man, I don't know.
Well, that's probably what happens. Anyway, I think they're probably going to do something similar to that,
Yeah.
using Kang or the Beyonder or Doctor Doom,
Deadpool 3, etc.
Deadpool 3, etc. And then, if I had to guess, I would say, and I do, I
Yep.
don't.
You
I don't.
have to.
I have to, though. I'm going to say that at the end of Secret Wars, they're going to cut off access to all the other parallel multiverse
Yep.
realities because it's too much work.
Yeah.
I think they might do a Crisis on Infinite Earths where they destroy all the alternate Earths and they go, well, that's the end of that.
We did it.
But the one reality that's left has been changed.
Yes.
And it's probably that they've taken all the mutants have been put on the regular Earth and then they just, I think they're probably also going to do everybody remembers the universe. Everybody
remembers everything?
No, I think they're going to do.
Or it's like a blip situation where it's like an awful like
No, I think they're going to do.
Sudden.
I think they're going to do. Reality gets altered. The X-Men have always been there.
Yeah.
And everybody remembers it like that.
Okay, sure.
I think that's probably how they're going to do
Yeah.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It's very
Are you
exciting.
excited?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm big Kev excited.
You know what the Beast thing reminds
James, I'm big Kev excited. That's a
Australian
local reference.
Thank you. But
Yeah.
it reminded
You are hungover. You
I
didn't. You
am.
didn't. Okay.
I didn't think it was brilliant what you said.
Yeah, you must be hungover. Because you didn't think the big Kev reference that I've done probably hundreds of times before in our life was not the best thing you've ever heard. So you must be hungover and also drunk.
I am. I think that you can't be both, can you? But I think that oh god, what was I saying?
You were big Kev excited, is what you were saying. Yeah.
Oh god, I'm completely
Reality?
Reality, something.
X-Men universe. They're going to combine them all.
Yeah. Oh,
And then they're going to never mention it again. Because I think that is the only way forward. Not only just because multiverses are played out and people hate them now.
Yeah.
I think.
If they hate them if they're bad.
Yeah, but also because
Invincible is doing it.
Yeah, because you can't. It's difficult to have stakes if you can just go, well, my mother died in this universe, but she's alive in another
Yeah.
universe, so let's just.
This wasn't the thing I was going to say, but this part of the thing I was going to say. I think also that will lead into like the soft reboot they're probably going to do where they can recast a bunch of people.
Yeah, huh.
And be like, this is new Iron Man, this is new Thor, whatever they, and keep some and not others, and
Yeah.
get people for cheap and lock them into 9 years worth of movies,
Yeah,
TV
yeah.
shows, and whatever. Yeah, so that's where they're going to go. from there. But honestly, like
The contracts now will say we will lock you into 9 movies or until our AI has scanned you enough that it can do a passable replica of you and then you're out.
absolutely,
Yeah.
Have you watched Frasier No Mates yet? The new
No,
series?
no.
Yeah,
No.
Frasier, but none of his mates are here.
No, have you?
No.
Okay.
Why would I?
I was going to say.
Anyway, I got some reviews here. This one's from Will, who says, this was a good week for Marvel. The final of Loki Season 2 was spectacular and a great wrap-up for Hiddleston's journey, and the Marvels ended up being an incredibly fun and refreshing movie. Good times, best movie/TV show ever. The Nick Abide says, the Marvels was just fine. It's not the worst Marvel movie, but not the best either. I really like the 3 leads, especially Aman Vellani, the cameos, and the neat mid-credits scene, but the action story and villains were just generic in my opinion. Vinton says, wait, so why exactly are people hating on the Marvels? The switching was always fun, although less inspired each time, which is normal. And it's one of the funnier MCU movies in years, especially that one Fury line when someone lands. Best movie. What was that? I don't remember that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
James, I just don't know.
Yeah. And how do you spell it? EOGHAN. How do you spell that? How do you say that?
How was it?
EOGHAN.
Yoan?
Yoan? Yeah, okay.
Maybe.
The Marvels was unfortunately too generic for me to enjoy. Vellani's charm and switching places dynamic wasn't enough to distract from the fact that it was clearly butchered by Feige in post. Oh, Feige shot!
Oh, if I did it personally.
Leaving much to be desired. Worst movie ever. But I would say, like, for most of the reviews that people have sent us, I put some, like, more, like, negative ones here, but are generally pretty positive.
Yeah,
on it.
I've noticed that so far as well. Yeah.
It could build over time.
Yeah.
I don't think it will, but
No.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of Twitter reactions I've seen have just been like, it was fun.
yeah, go to
Bit of
Disney.
fun.
Wait for Disney Plus or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we move it along?
Yes.
Movies?
Yeah.
What's next? Deadpool 3? Is that the next thing?
No, it's what we read and what we're going to read.
No. I mean, in terms of the next Marvel property movie, Mason.
Oh.
Unless are the Expendables movies set in the MCU?
They might be.
Yeah.
They could be.
Yeah, they could be.
Yeah.
Because they're
Maybe
middling.
Sly wants to sell them.
Maybe he does. Oh, he is in the MCU, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's fucking, what's his fucking face or whatever,
Yeah,
isn't he? He's
yeah,
that
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
He's that guy.
Maybe Vance Astro?
Scar?
No.
Scar.
No.
Let me check.
I think he's Vance Astro.
Sly Stallone MCU. He plays,
Yes.
we voiced King Shark in
Yeah.
the Suicide Squad, which you didn't know.
I do know everything.
Yeah, he plays Stakar Ugord.
Oh, all right.
Ugord?
Oh,
Ugord?
God.
What's happened to Ugord?
There's a reality show. He's got a reality show. It's called The Family Stallone,
Okay.
which is a
Do you have a boxing reality show? Like to the
Maybe.
Family Stone? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's going to say because the band is called Sly and the Family Stone, right?
right. Okay.
So clearly they've gone Sly and the Family Stallone, but then somebody's lawyer's gone, well, we can't have it. People will confuse the band for this reality show we're doing, so we're just going to have to call it The Family Stallone.
Perfect.
Yeah, that is
perfect.
perfect. That's why that was what I was getting at. It's perfect.
All right, should we move it along?
Yes.
What to?
What we're reading?
What we're going to read?
Yes.
I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today? Here we are. We're in this segment. This is where we talk about what we're reading.
You better believe it.
Do you want to talk? Oh, you got a thing. We got a thing we want to recommend.
I've
first,
got a bunch of things actually. This
Yeah,
week.
but do the thing first.
All right. Listener of the show,
Yes.
Lockie Ross,
What?
has a video series, a web series.
So do I.
It's on Grouse House.
Ours is called Caravan of Garbage.
Yeah, no, James, you've asked me to do the thing and then you're interrupting the thing.
I just feel like I would love to get into some self-promotion.
And I'm loving
here.
it, is what I'm saying. I'm loving I'm loving that. Lockie emailed a
Yeah.
few weeks ago. He's like, do you want to come to the premiere of my web series? And we said no.
Did we?
No, we were both busy.
I didn't. I just want to point out I didn't know about this till before the show.
Okay, right.
Because you went to the Weekly Planet email and I did not check that email.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's on Grouse House, which
Yep.
is Auntie Donna's
That's
second
right.
YouTube channel, where they're doing kind of like emerging artists and web series and all sorts
Yeah.
of like interesting stuff. It's a good series. It's very funny.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So where can I find that? What was the name of it? Just to be clarified.
It's called How to Be Wellness.
Yeah, it's really fun.
But if you just want to go to Grouse House TV on
Yeah.
YouTube, it's all on there.
That's right.
It features some of our favourites. You'll
Yep.
see Ben Russell. You'll see
Rodden Kelly.
Rodden Kelly. All
Rodden.
sorts of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Really funny. And it's also like, even though he emailed and whatever, this is already a great thing
Yeah.
that we knew about.
That's right.
We already knew.
We already knew. Get off our
And,
backs,
so
God.
yeah, definitely check it out. One of the well, we talked about this before the show, but pretending not to see someone you know is a great start.
A great concept.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's my entire life.
Maybe we should check that out, I think.
Maybe we-
Also, on YouTube, I've been watching a YouTube channel called The Bad Movie Bible. Are you familiar with this?
No.
So there's a book called The Bad Movie Bible,
Okay.
and it's about, as you might imagine, movies that are so bad. they're
Movies
good.
about the Bible.
Exactly. That's right.
That Charlton Heston one.
Yeah.
The Russell Crowe Noah movie. The one where Jesus gets beaten to death for 4.5 hours with Mel Gibson directing.
Yep, all those ones.
The classics.
All the
trilogy.
greats.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's by a film critic called Rob Hill, and he also has a YouTube channel called The Bad Movie Bible, where he talks about bad movies. But he has a series called Borrowing Blockbusters.
Borrowing
Blockbusters.
Okay.
And it's about, each episode is about, like, every movie from around the world that is copying, like, Aliens, or every movie around the world that copied Die Hard, for example. And they're really interesting.
Die Hard 2.
Die Hard 2, for example, you know.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
That's a good idea. I like that.
But yeah, I think they're like knockoffs of Aliens, Star Wars, you know, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
so it's fun
absolutely.
because, you know, and a lot of them are like straight to video.
Yeah, sure.
And a lot of them are like from, you know, China or India or Hong Kong. Or
It's like
something
it's
that.
Indian Superman, whatever.
Exactly, but I think they're really interesting.
I think they're
people
not.
should check
I think they're
them
not
out.
interesting. Having not seen this, I don't think
great.
it is interesting.
Okay, great. Terrific.
Yeah.
And I've watched some episodes of Loki, but I'm still too behind. Did you want to spoil Loki?
Let's spoil Loki.
You're all about spoiling Loki?
Fuck it, let's do it.
Okay, then, great.
Now, normally we do a video on this, but who cares at this point?
Wow.
I thought it was a pretty strong series, though, all in all. I don't know if I enjoyed it as much as the first series, but I will say that, like, it does feel like, maybe I did. It does feel like that, because the creatives behind it have said, like, this is supposed to be 2 series and this is the story. And it definitely feels like that.
Okay.
Like there is an open-endedness to the end of it, like in
Right.
certain elements of things and people that could show up.
Uh-huh.
But it really feels like, no, this wasn't a wishy-washy kind of whatever and we'll fix it in post and
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know, we'll change the ending at the last minute to a big punch up on the sun or something. Like
Well, that would be awesome.
It would
though.
be awesome.
It'd be awesome and epic.
But it ends like in a couple of interesting ways. One, that this variation on Loki, who's not the original Loki because the original Loki dies. People know this,
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah.
So this guy,
He's basically the original
He's basically
version of
the
Loki
same
because he
guy.
watched a video
He
about
watched
the
a
original
video.
about the original Loki's I'm up to speed now.
Yeah, I get
and
it.
I've learned all the moral
I
lessons
have
he learned.
empathy and I'm alive.
Yeah.
2 things.
Yeah.
So at the end, basically it turns out that the He Who Remains, one of the Kangs, you know, the guy that they killed in the first end of the
Yes.
series, he knew that was going to happen and basically it got stuck in this kind of perpetual time loop where Loki harnessed his time-skipping powers where he could go to any point in time, right,
Okay.
and stop time and do all sorts of time-related things. So Loki's trying to go back and basically fix the timelines from collapsing in on themselves, but in doing so, like the ultimatum is like he has to stop He Who Remains from being killed.
Okay.
And that guy knew that. Like he always knew that even though Sylvie stabbed him, that Loki would have to
save
come
him.
back and save him at some point.
Okay.
But Loki figures out that because he's a big time god, that he basically changes the whole multiverse thing, and he grabs all the different timelines and he reignites them, and then he has a big Loki gown and outfit and hat.
Okay.
And he wraps all the kind of the time things.
He just reading from the script.
Yeah. These are all the things that Owen Wilson is saying towards the end of the show. And then he sits in the middle
He's got a gown and a hat.
Wow. And he sits in a big time tree.
Okay.
And all the timelines are around him. So Loki's role in the universe now, or this version, is like the guardian of the multiverse.
Okay, sure.
And in doing so also, he basically circumvented everything that Kang and various Kangs were trying to do.
Well, isn't that convenient?
Well, it also says at the end that, like, I think we've fixed all the Kang stuff.
Terrific.
But maybe.
Hang on,
we'll
what do you
see.
mean by that?
Well, because they go, all the Kang variants are being watched and under control. And we
Oh,
got,
that's
and we-
convenient.
and we got
all
this.
infinite of them, all infinity of them.
Yeah, they got it.
Oh, that's great.
So, and Victor Timely, they stop him from getting the TVA book. So none of that happens.
Okay, all right. So he doesn't get turned into spaghetti.
Yeah, but he's also, well, he does. In the last episode, he gets spaghetti
Fight
like
again.
thousands of times or
Oh,
whatever.
no.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's interesting the way they play with time in the last episode because the first thing Loki tries to do is like use the Victor Timely device to set it within the multiverse thing and like redirect the flow.
Okay.
And he's trying to figure out how to do it. And he's like, doesn't have enough time. So he says to Kei Kwan's character, can you teach me about like astrophysics or whatever? How long did this take? And he's like, I don't know, like a lifetime. And Loki's like, great. So Loki goes back in time and learns like a lifetime's worth of like astrophysics.
Bill and
time
Ted's
stuff.
Bogus Journey
Yeah,
style.
basically. But it happens in like a second.
Yeah,
like
right.
it just cuts to the next thing.
That's what happens in Bill and Ted's Bogus
Yes,
Journey.
exactly.
They go and learn how to play
Yeah.
guitar. And
Anyway,
they come back with big long beards.
Anyway, it doesn't work. But
no.
but it's fun. Like it's just all these. He spends like who knows how much time like trying to fix it at different points.
Groundhog Day style.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Okay.
So yeah, if you were like maybe down on Captain Marvel or like which again we weren't, but
Or just a sad sack generally.
yeah, then this is I think this is a
Okay.
This clearly again like they thought about it. It feels like 2 seasons. It feels like the end of Like it could be the end of Loki. It won't be, but it could be the end of Loki.
Do you feel like Sylvie got a little bit underused in the second
I'd
season?
say so, yeah. And it's a wig. I found out. I saw it on Instagram. It's a wig.
Who are you talking to?
You.
Who are you talking about?
Sylvie, it's a wig.
Oh.
It's a mullet wig.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
What do you think of that?
I think that's great.
Oh, it tricks me. Because you
Yeah.
couldn't see the hairline. That's how
Yeah, that's how they
It's
do
Captain Marvel wearing a wig, by the way, in the latest movie. Yeah. But no, I thought it was really good. And Kang is dead, maybe, depending what happens in real life.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of that, Mason? You going to watch it or are you just going to...
Yeah, I'll finish it off.
Yeah, you should. It's fun.
Okay,
It's
great.
good. It's a good aesthetic. And
Also, you described it badly, so I still have no idea what happened. So
I described it perfectly, Mason. I think everybody will...
you got a wig and a gown.
He didn't
So
have a
thanks
wig.
for the spoilers.
He didn't have a wig. He had a hat.
Okay.
He had a big time hat, probably.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So anyway,
Loki, use the time hat.
Okay.
Wow,
Anyway, so
wow,
he's sitting.
wow.
Loki's sitting in a tree.
Okay, great.
Like
Is
a-
it the world tree?
Yeah, some kind of weird
Yggdrasil?
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
You know.
I don't, Mason.
Alright.
I don't, and it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You watching anything
You
else?
don't, and it does matter. I started listening to Matthew Perry's autobiography.
Oh yeah.
You
You listening to Matthew Newton's autobiography? Is that what you said?
Matthew Perry.
You said Matthew Newton.
No, I said Matthew Perry.
No.
I did.
Why would
Anyway.
you listen to Matthew Newton's autobiography? What am I doing?
I don't know. That's a local reference.
Because he's terrible. Is
Yes.
what I'm saying.
Not Matthew,
Matthew-
Newton, not Matthew Perry.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because I don't know if you know, this is not an ad for Spotify.
Yeah.
But if you're on Spotify Premium, you get 15 hours of free audiobooks a month.
Sick.
Or yeah, it's not a ton, admittedly,
You don't think it's enough?
but it's it'll do.
Yeah, it'll do, will it?
I think what happened is they were like, "Hey, we've got audiobooks and you can buy them," and people
Yeah.
went, "We're not interested." And they went, "What if we give you some free stuff?"
Yeah. People are like, okay, now we're
Now
interested.
we're not interested at all.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And he narrates it. I
He does,
assume?
yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it's
okay.
interesting. It's very you understand how he got into the space he got into. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, you were telling me before the show. Some pretty fucked up stuff, man.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
Whoa.
Should we move it along?
Yeah, it's time for letters.
Let's do it.
I'm going to do this through my new phone. Let's see how it works. Probably worse.
Let's find out.
The classic one was
Jesus. Mel Gibson's Jesus. That was loud.
We're going to hear right now. We're going to do letters.
Not an ad.
Yeah.
That's an insane speaker.
Ah.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I clicked the wrong thing.
Get your phone in
During
check.
the Michael Bay Transformers series Caravan of Garbage.
Get your ducks in a row.
Every point of this phone is a speaker. Like I'm like, it's coming out of every point. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like vomiting from both ends.
That's right.
Wait, that doesn't matter. Mason, this is the letter segment of the show. If you do want to reach us through #WeeklyPlanetPod on Twitter.
That's right.
Do you have any Gmails?
Oh, I've got some
or
Gmails.
weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
Got all that stuff.
While you're doing that,
Brother.
I can do this one if you want.
Okay, great.
This is from I Watch Stuff, who says #WeeklyPlanetPod. The thing I loved about Loki season 2 that they clearly had an idea of what the story wanted to tell, of the story they wanted to tell, how they wanted to tell it, and then actually did it. You can't tell a story like this without actually planning, which is what has been missing from Marvel lately.
So
Completely
true.
Agree. Yeah, great
Big
point.
time. It's from Donald.
Yes.
Subject line: making my brother feel bad.
Oh, I have
Which
a
is-
brother.
Yeah.
Not you.
Oh,
I have two other brothers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this is very relatable. Donald says, I'm a big sandwich subscriber, and at times I have thought about giving my brother, who is not a big sandwich subscriber, my login information so he can download content. However, I've refrained from doing so as I would not feel right about it. I've enjoyed your content since 2015 when I saw your cancelled Batman vs. Superman animated video.
Oh,
on
yeah.
YouTube.
Sean Willett's animation.
Yeah, that's right. Since I've been a subscriber to Big Sandwich, I've enjoyed many hours of additional content. Can you please tell my brother that this is his message to subscribe and enjoy without being a freeloader?
You can do that. Also, we don't care.
Yeah, you can
give it
you
to
can,
him.
you
It's
can give it to him. But speaking of, here's another email from Lewis.
Lewis!
Hey, James and or Meso, how's it going?
But we do appreciate the support.
Absolutely.
And your brother is a freeloader.
That's true.
That is correct.
He's probably a freeloader in other aspects of your life.
Definitely.
Which is why you've brought this up.
Sometimes you might go to the fridge and you're out of margarine. Guess what? Your brother did that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because he's put a big sticker on there that says I owe you
Yeah.
margarine, but I'll never pay it back. Gotcha.
Gotcha.
My name's Lewis from South Wales. I've been listening to the pod for about 3 years. It's gotten me through many a work day.
I love
I'm
work.
studying games art in university and recently found out that someone in my class also listens to the pod. This made me jump up in the air and do a little heel click with glee as I now have someone to talk about the pod with.
Oh, delightful.
Just wanted to say thanks for keeping me through, getting me through the last 3 years and for keeping me up to date with the latest red hot comic book movie news. P.S. I would also be really interested in seeing you two play through Five Nights at Freddy's at some point as two
Whoa.
people with very little exposure to the games.
Funny, you should say that.
It is funny,
This
isn't
week
it?
at bigsandwich.co, we did a Five Nights at Freddy playthrough. But also, I got fucking jump scared in it.
Boy, did you
I
ever.
did not, which I was not expecting. Because, anyway, that's bigsandwich.co because we
That's
do
right.
video game Let's Plays there.
Yeah,
as
that's right.
mentioned, and that one's up there.
Yes.
If you give a flip.
I do give a flip.
I know you
Very
do,
much give
Mason.
a flip.
Yeah. I got one here from Jeremy who says, hey, guys, #Weekly Planet Pod, with the Doctor Who 60th...
Okay, that's already sounding very sarcastic.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
With the Doctor Who 60th anniversary quickly approaching, I was wondering if you'd cover the multi-Doctor comic, The Four Doctors for the Book Club. That or any of the multi-Doctor stories could be good. I would, I've never read any Doctor Who comics. Would you do that, Mason?
I would do that,
I'll
sure.
put it tentatively in the Big Sandwich file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Four Doctor Whos.
Okay.
Which four Doctors is it?
Probably the first four.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. The most boring four.
William Hartnell, another guy,
William Hartnell again.
another guy.
A fourth guy.
Yeah. What am I doing?
Like a stagehand in a wig.
Yep,
Because
yep.
William Hartnell wasn't there.
Wasn't-
So they put him in a cloak.
Wasn't the fucking something? Didn't that happen?
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
Yeah.
somebody owns the rights to the original Doctor Who or something.
Something like that,
Yeah.
yeah. And and he doesn't like that the new Doctor Who's woke or something. So he's like, I'll never.
Oh, is that why?
I'll never allow you to have Doctor Who on the.
Oh, I thought he was doing it for like other reasons. Not that.
No, there's a guy. Somebody owns. The way that ownership and writing for TV stuff works in England is different to other places. And if I remember correctly, one of the original Doctor Who serials is owned by the son of the original writer.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, everything's too woke and I won't allow you to put it on TV or whatever.
They would never allow that to happen now. Like a writer
No.
to hold the rights to something
God
like that.
Damn.
Anyway, God bless this man. He's doing the Lord's work.
Here's one more email.
Yeah.
This is from Jordan. Finding new comics to read. Hey guys, been listening to the show off and on since my last year of high school, and I'm now 5 years into my first full-time job.
Well, congratulations. Happy birthday.
You're very welcome. I can feel myself becoming less like Mason and more like James every day.
Nice.
What does that mean?
That's what happens to you.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
I feel myself becoming more like James every day too.
And I feel like a worse version of myself.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Does that mean one day I'll feel like a worse version of you?
Yes.
Oh no!
But I'll be dead.
Oh, then that's great. Jordan says, you both always seem to have a different comic series you've started reading or are continuing to read, and I was wondering how you manage to keep up with what's coming out and how you find as many things as you do to read.
A lot of it is recommendations.
Yeah.
A lot of it's from you. You're like, did you read this? And I'm like, no. And then I read it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I do? A few things. On the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook
Oh,
group.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
And I don't have their name here, but thank you for doing this.
Who are you?
Every week they put up a new comic book release
Yes.
post.
Because they come out Wednesdays.
Yeah, and
normally,
it's basically just a bunch of covers of what is coming out that week.
Yeah.
And I just look at the interesting covers and I go, that looks pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And a lot, it could be DC stuff or Marvel, but it's also like independent stuff and the Image and all that sort of stuff. And generally I just go by the covers.
Yeah.
What I often do is
You're a simple man.
I'm a simple man, I'm a simpleton, and I will just look at the covers and go, that's cool, and maybe I'll Google it and see if it's
Something.
interesting. There's other recommendations. If you want to follow Comic Tropes on
Yep.
Twitter,
It's a good
also
one.
on YouTube, but he will often he'll put up a photo, new comic day, here's what I got, and I'm like, I trust his recommendations, that'll be good. So whatever he's reading.
Yes, yes.
Also, Casually Comics on YouTube.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Her name's Sasha, I think, and she
Yep.
recommends comics a lot of the time.
Like that. I think I'm
Yeah,
subscribed to her. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's and often just Twitter it'll just
If it's
stuff
working.
will pop up. If it's working, we'll just pop up like an interesting thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm
and
subscribed
like,
to Casually Comics. Yeah.
yeah, nice. Good. Just all that stuff.
Yeah. Just all the things that you can imagine. Yeah.
Or just go past your local comic book store and they might have some stuff in the window. And just
Pop
go,
your head in.
Pop your head in.
Pop your head in.
Pop your head in.
Get into an argument with the clerk
That's
who
right.
works there.
Yeah.
About Frank Miller or whatever.
That's right.
They love that.
In Melbourne, we have Comics R Us in the city, and we also have Minotaur, which is a kind of a...
Yeah.
You know.
And we have Toys R Us.
We do not have Toys R Us.
Don't we?
No.
We should get that.
Okay, great.
You reckon?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, a lot of the time, and it's not the best way to do it, like I'll just go to Comixology, which is a website they have absolutely broken. And
see what's on the
just
front
have
page?
a poke around. And,
Yeah.
Well, I don't even go to the front page. I go to like what's out this week, and I go through like the extensive list. And normally in the middle, there's like 100 romance anime comics.
Okay,
Like just
sure.
a block that you got to like just scroll through. And don't get me wrong,
God.
Mason, I love romance.
Well, I was going to say.
But not in my comic books. Yeah. I got another one here.
Go on.
And it's actually a big deal.
Okay.
Actually, no, it's not.
It's a small deal?
No, it's I like it.
Medium-sized deal.
Medium-sized deal. This is from William Robinson, who says, #Weekly Planet Pod. Hi, James and Mesa.
That's us.
Congrats on flying past episode 500. My friend's going to Melbourne and Sydney for a few weeks. Told her to watch out for bearded men on trams. Mm-hmm. Do you have any essential food drink recommendations? Bear in mind she loves milkshakes specifically. Thank you. Well, a milkshake might be. I would start there. Get a milkshake from a milkshake
McDonald's?
store. Yeah.
Get a McDonald's.
Get a McDonald's
Get a
milkshake.
McDonald's thick shake and wait for it to melt.
Exactly.
And then it's a milkshake.
And then throw it at a car.
Throw it. That's what I assume she's. When they say loved milkshakes, I assume
Love
they
throwing
mean
milkshakes at cars.
throwing them at cars.
Yeah.
And that's a sign of affection in Melbourne.
Absolutely,
A sign
it
of
is.
solidarity, you know?
Recently, I've been here a few times, but it's more of a chain thing situation. Is it around the world? It might be. Fonda, I quite like. It's like a Mexican
Place, sure.
place. It's it's sort of fast food, but it's sort of not, and it's I just like their food.
Interesting.
It's sort of fast food. I say that because it's actually like genuinely good.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you like Fonda?
Yes.
Good. That's something I went to recently. What would you recommend? You're a man about town. You're always
That's
in the
true.
city. You're always at Flinders Street Station.
I'm always at Flinders Street
dressed
Station.
as a goth.
I was going to say hanging out with the gods. Great question. Well, at the top of the Burke Street, there's a place called Butcher's Diner.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
mentioned that in the past.
Yep.
Listener Harry works there. Say
Oh,
hi to
that's
him.
right. Yep.
Say Weekly Planet senior, and they'll be like, "What are you talking about? Harry's not on today."
Yeah.
You know, and you get ejected.
That's right. There's that meatballs place. That's good. Just sells meatballs.
Oh, yeah.
It's got like meatballs or whatever
Oh
in the
my
CBD.
god, yeah. There's also a place. It's called Rocco's Bologna.
Yeah.
Or Rocco's Bologna, I guess.
Oh.
That's in on Gertrude Street. That's really good. They'll give you meat, but that's the best meatball sub in the city.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I
out.
caught up recently with our good friend Hollywood Pete,
Oh yeah.
and he recommended. We
And
went
he
to
probably recommended somewhere bloody bougie, didn't
It
he?
was very bougie. It was great though. It was I'm going to find it. What the name of it because it was really good. It was called Yakimono. It's on 80 Collins Street, and it's Japanese food, and they do like amazing drinks. We were drinking whiskey sours together.
Oh, here
They
we
did
go.
like a Japanese spin on it.
Wow.
So I would highly recommend that place. That place was fucking unreal.
Wow. All right then.
Yakimono. I don't know if they do milkshakes,
yeah.
but they might make it for you, especially if you ask them, tell them you're going to throw it at a car.
There's a place in Carlton called Shooter McGavin's.
Oh yeah,
Named
like
after
the guy.
Yeah, from the guy. And it's a sandwich shop, and it's really good.
Yeah.
They'll do your fish and chip sandwich.
Yeah,
Out of
okay.
this world.
Out of this world?
It's out of this world. I'm loving
What's
it.
the bread made of?
Regular bread.
What kind of bread?
Meteor bread.
Meteor bread?
Yep.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I said it was out of this world, so I sort of had to. had to
Oh,
work.
that's
Had
great.
to do my best there. Just
I didn't
for
know
its
you were
sugar.
doing jokes still.
Well, that's my last one, so
Cool.
never again. Don't worry, never again.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I think that's the show then.
Yeah.
Next week, we're doing Hunger Games, baby.
Oh, yeah.
It's an okay Hunger Games prequel, apparently.
They've
That's
said
too
it.
long, maybe. That's what they say.
People are saying a lot of stuff.
They certainly are. What do you got, Mason, in terms of landing the show?
Oh, folks, thank you so much for listening. We very much appreciate it.
We do, actually.
Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for telling your friends, because that's how we get new listeners. And thank you for leaving a 5-star review in-app on your podcast catcher of choice. And if you do that, James will read it out probably, maybe.
That's right. I'll read it out, just like this one from A.B, who says, The irreverent Aussie humour. Discovered your show on YouTube during the pandemic shutdowns in NYC and subsequently the podcast. And I've been living in the States for about 16 years, enjoying the 2-year period that I couldn't get back home. It helped me with the homesickness and hanging out and watching movie marathons and talking general nerd-related stuff with my best mate back home. Tune in from NYC every week and love the Aussie banter back and forth up there with Red Letter Media as my favourite adjacent commentary.
Oh.
Cheers, guys. This one's from Nake Ranger.
I love that.
Who says, nothing bad happened to me listening to this podcast. I've been listening to this show for long enough to know that I can definitely say it's good luck. Only good things have happened to me when I listen to Nick and James argue back and forth like my two dads that have been together for way too long. We're brothers. No, we're not brothers. I only wish I had passion in my life that James has for Elon. Great podcast and great blokes. I don't like that. He's misinterpreted. I don't like him. I don't like him in his stupid truck.
But you do like him, though, don't you?
I like the people that are going to buy that. I enjoy
that's
that.
true.
If you're a moron.
Check out this meatball sub.
Oh, wow. That's just a porno. Mason's showing me pornos on the podcast, Mason. It's not allowed. It's rude.
No, I'm showing you a delicious meatball sub.
It's true, yes.
Yeah,
That does look really good.
I'm going to get one tomorrow. Anyway, jeez.
Mind your business. Do the end of the
I
show.
was going to say.
Stay out of it.
Okay. What'd your last lungs die of? Whatever you've got now?
Whatever I got bloody now, mate.
And then you got that rich person surgery where you got somebody else's lungs and put the lungs in you?
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's great.
I just do it every week.
Folks, if you want to get into contact with us, you can go to weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com. You can go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group. You can go to the Weekly Planet subreddit and Discord.
I believe it.
You can do that for fun civil discussion about podcasts and pop culture.
That's right.
Keep it nice or you're out.
Yeah.
That's what we say.
It's an echo chamber, actually.
Good.
Good.
We like that.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, an echo chamber of my beautiful voice. Don't mind if I do. Let's see if you want to follow some people on the socials. First, follow our friend Rob Collings. He's at Rob Collings on Twitter. He's at the Weekly Planet on Twitter. He'll keep you up to date on all of the Weekly Planet comings and goings.
Oh,
You
wow.
can follow me, Wikipedia Brown, on Twitter, Nick Mace on Instagram. James is Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere. Everywhere.
Every day.
Let me think. Oh, also thank you to Sarabi and Maisie and Fidel for
Oh
keeping the
my
peace
God.
over at those subreddits and Discords and doing all sorts of TikToks and
Because
Twitters.
if they don't keep the peace, they're out.
That's right. No,
Not fired, but they're out of the group.
that's right.
Yeah.
They still have to moderate, but they're not allowed in. They're doing great work also.
They certainly are.
Let me think. Thank you to the Brute and the Basilisk and Rackham for all the musical themes.
Whoa.
T-shirts are at tpublic.com.
Tpublic.
Search for The Weekly Planet. But if you want to support the show otherwise, you go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. Chuck it a buck. You're a man you would novice.
Chuck in a dollar.
Or
Chuck in
you can go to
$10.
bigsandwich.co for $9 per month. Bonus podcasts, movie commentaries, early videos, video game let's plays, the
Yeah,
aforementioned
man.
Five Nights at Freddy's video. Listen to
Yes.
James get spooked.
Yeah.
Like an easily
I
spooked
went,
man.
and then I was embarrassed.
Yeah. I was embarrassed for you. Secondhand embarrassment. That's what the kids call cringe.
It's true.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's the whole show. Next week, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Woo. Can't wait. We just finished the Hunger Games series on Caravan of Garbage, diminishing returns in terms of views. Not a
Oh, no.
surprise, yeah. But we're starting the Monsterverse this week.
That's
We're
right.
in Godzilla 2014, and we're going to do the 4 current Monsterverse movies.
I love that.
Which has been fun to revisit until we get to some of them. The third one,
Yeah.
which is not as fun.
It's pretty fun.
It's not as fun,
Yeah,
though.
it's not like woo, is it?
No, it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, I think what happened there is Kong Skull Island is fun. It's fun in like
Yeah.
a woo way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And at the end of the first one, there's the bit where Godzilla tears her fucking head off and whatever.
Yeah.
And that's fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
No more fun.
No more fun.
No more
now.
fun for the week.
We don't want that.
Grab that, Jamie, guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.